I hope I'm never sitting courtside. Shit happened so quick it felt like there was no time. Body was programmed just to always be on go time. I think the clouds are on free. This ain't shit that all the homies can be. Running from the lies, slip and get up. Thinking about the bullshit, lit it right up. Mama told me one day you run out of luck. Now I'm looking up, quick tail catching up. Born into that trench mind, niggas had no straight mind. Only thing we know is break a bitch and push that bread line. Head be filled with crazy shit like shorty had my head tied like bitch. You know you ain't coming to me about no bedtime. Ain't no keep it real, I really feel like the pressure is really on me. I know pressure is a bitch, but I don't let feelings control me. I know I've been getting cold and my niggas was flaking on me. So I had to bet some bitches at some parties. But don't blame me for it, don't blame me for it. I'm too cheap for it. Just watch me going, no brakes. Just keep top speed flowing. Bless me, test me, line me up, I know that I'm the next thing. Praying till don't catch me and arrest me. Hope that every night I make it in my best sleep. I hope I'm never sitting courtside. Shit happened so quick it felt like there was no time. Body was programmed just to always be on go time. I think the clouds are on free. This ain't shit that all the homies can be. I hope I'm never sitting courtside. Shit happened so quick it felt like there was no time. Body was programmed just to always be on go time. I think the clouds are on free. This ain't shit that all the homies can be. Running from the lies, slip and get up. Even about the bullshit, lit it right up. Mama told me one day you run out of luck. Now I'm looking up, control catching up. Alright, I ain't resist, but don't take my chain. No, you can't search my shit. Know how it goes. These just praying that shit. Give me my chance before my grave is dig. Bless me, test me, line me up, I know that I'm the next thing. Praying till don't catch me and arrest me. Hope that every night I make it in my best sleep. I hope I'm never sitting courtside. Shit happened so quick it felt like there was no time. Body was programmed just to always be on go time. I think the clouds are on free. This ain't shit that all the homies can be. Running from the lies, slip and get up. Thinking about the bullshit, lit it right up. Mama told me one day you run out of luck. Now I'm looking up, quick tail catching up. Catching up.
What's up, family? What's going on? I was supposed to go live 2 days ago, but I told y'all when I get off work, I'm tired. And that body, when that body says shut down, it shuts down. I'm not no spring chicken. I might look like one, but I ain't one. I'm Gen X, and we got to get our sleep. For real, for real. Hey, Anthony. William Robinson accounted for. My Lisa, Original Intellect, Sammy, David. What's up, y'all? What's going on? What's up, everybody watching? I know everybody want to see this one because it's gangster government. And you know what? What I speak about today with gangster government ain't got nothing to do with Trump. It don't. The establishments was before he was in office. and before he was born, all the way up to this concluding date. Cannabis and all that stuff. We're gonna go back in history about gangster government when they don't get their cut. Ooh, a hot mess. What I will not talk about, may she rest in peace, and I'm gonna let her rest peacefully. Angie Stone. Shout out to the goddess, the queeness, the beautiful Angie Stone. It's so many conspiracies about her unlived that I'm not even going to talk about it. However, I was on a fire build yesterday. I was on Gigi's panel yesterday. She's so pretty. Gigi, Pink Lip. Pink Lips, that's her name, YouTube, Cash App, I think. But I really enjoyed myself on her segment yesterday. They gave a lot of information and they pointed out a lot of issues that made sense and as it pertains to her, to Angie Stone. I just feel so bad. I have absolutely nothing to say. I wasn't there. However, I will truthfully miss her. She is from South Kakalaki, like us, y'all. Columbia, South Carolina. Different part from where my family's from, but South Kakalaki Indian is a South Kakalaki Indian. I feel bad. I feel so bad for her. I don't know what happened. It's so many conspiracies. Yeah, Gigi has a channel. I was on her panel. She's so pretty. When I see her, hey, American Business Enots. When I see her, she reminds me so much of Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles. When I look at her, she looked like she could be Tina Knowles' sister. She's so beautiful. And I had a wonderful time on her channel. But I know she's a Democrat and she ain't out there for Trump, but I'm a Trump supporter. And I didn't want to get into politics or anything, but I understood where she was coming from. I could very much tell that, she wasn't, Trump wasn't her favorite, but that's cool. Your favorite political leaders are your favorite political leaders at this point. And I happen to like Trump. And people have smoke about it, but today's not the day. I'm going to talk about Trump, but I will do a live about Trump, and why I support him and why I still do. Seriously, because I still do support Trump. I am a Republican, bottom line. Some people are not in the Republican Party. Some people are independents. Who knows? Our next governor might be a Republican and he might not be so great and might cause me to go independent party. But right now I am a public Republican, and to me, it's no secret. I support who I support. People don't like it. Oh, well, get to stepping. But anyway, yeah, she does has a channel. I was on it yesterday. I had a ball. Hey, Damon. I had a ball on her channel. I had so much fun because I was hearing so much, getting so much information about what happened during her, coming from her show in Atlanta, getting to, I guess she was going to go to Baltimore. I don't know where she was going on her way to. Hey, Lady Moon. But it just hurts my heart. And to hear the stories about sisters that she supported since her career, starting back in the 70s, being a rapper. She supported, Gigi did mention that she supported so many female artists, and none of them came to her rescue or stood behind her for how she felt, how she says that she's being treated in the music industry. And, sadly, she left us shortly after her video, because I did see her video explaining what she was going through. And I just, my prayers are for her family. Okay, she does have a son by D'Angelo. My prayers are for him, and my prayers are for her daughter. Okay, her family business is not my business. All I know is I was a fan of Angie Stone, and I thought she was beautiful, and she left us beautiful. So whatever bad things happen, if it's something that was, that is deemed later as a homicide, and curse be those people who did that. But anyway, today, hey Bucky, hey EJ, hey, what's going on? Oh, you changed your name to Original Copper. Okay. Hey Smoke, what's up? What's going on? Bucky, how you feeling? I hope you're feeling a lot better. Lady Moon, I hope you feeling a lot better because you be working just like me. Let me turn off my media assets and I'm going to get into gangster government. Okay. And I'm going to talk my junk about it. And it has nothing to do with this current administration. I just want to put that out there. I just want to discuss gangster government and then I'll get into some other things about that to me relates to gangster government. So let's get it, y'all. This was, as you see, I was supposed to be live yesterday because today's the 13th, but I was tired. Hey, reclassified. So mobsters speaks as speakers and bribes. So this is what the mafia and the police did back during prohibition time. Facts. They look at it, they dumping their liquor down the sewer. A hot mess. And back when I was a little girl, we had a bootlegger in our community. It was an old lady, and everybody knew her. Her name is Miss Sarah Bradshaw. Miss Bradshaw. She sold liquor in the hood in her apartment. She would always get raided, but not by the police. Once in a while by the police, but for the most part, it was our men and women in our community that would bust in her house when she opened the door to sell them some liquor, and they would beat her up and rob her. She would get black eyes. I remember that as a little girl, and I had to be between 5, 6, 7, 10 years old. And I do remember that. And she was like maybe in her late 50s, but she always looked old, even when I was little. So I'm gonna even put her at 60. But she would sell liquor, and she would be called the bootlegger lady in our hoods in Connecticut. Here's some more photos of the police, with the liquor pumps and all this other stuff. This is prohibition period. I'm just showing a few slides. Rum, liquor. Now, I remember back in like the 1800s, the early 1800s, where the chiefs of the tribe said no selling liquor to the Indians, and they also had signs up in the Midwest in Oklahoma, no selling liquor after 6 p.m. Or no selling liquor to Indians. A hot mess. And here in our state, liquor was not sold on Sundays. You couldn't buy liquor on Sundays. It was a law. But the governor that came in 2008 changed that. He made sure before he left office, because he served 2 terms, he made sure liquor was sold on Sundays and you could sell weed, legalizing weed. So we have these little old articles. Hey, curious. So this is the 1920s prohibition, little old articles, bootleggers and gangsters, the 21st Amendment after 13 years, 1920s prohibition, recall in the 1900s, the progressive movement, the 18th Amendment, a coalition, all these old articles from the newspaper. It's like, wow. Didn't see no booze. So here they called it booze. I'm just like, wow. I don't know if this picture is in Chicago or now this is liquor. Prohibition. Okay. Then you got it runs, then liquor gets legalized, right? And so then it's like everything that we did, they would take it and legalize it and establish their own. So all over the United States, the most owners of the liquor stores are the Southeast Asians. They own all the damn liquor stores. Now, I do remember back in the 70s, we did have people that own little dingy liquor stores in our hood. They sold it at the corner store. But they did have, we called them package stores. Go to the package store. And they had these little hole in the wall liquor stores in our hoods. Okay. But they got rid of a lot of hoods, liquor stores, because taxes rose and they couldn't pay the taxes because it's just horrible. People would be lined out at 8 o'clock in the morning in front of the liquor store. I remember this in our hoods, lined up out there 8 in the morning because they was alcoholics and stuck on benzodine. Liquor got benzodine in it, and they would be lined up out in the hood early in the morning. And that was a little thing when we were little kids, 8, 9, and 10 years old. And other kids would tease other kids, like, yeah, your father, he was standing out in front of the liquor store, didn't get the coal out of his eye. He's standing in front of the liquor store waiting for them to even open so he can get his sip. Because people would get like the shakes and stuff. They start detoxing quick when it comes to liquor. So then after liquor was legalized, they ran into the numbers game. So we got Madam Stephanie St. Clair. She gets the number rackets going and stuff. All right. Now Stephanie St. Clair was born. They called her Madam St. Clair, but her name is Stephanie St. Clair, born December 24th, 1897 in Martinique, French Caribbean. December 1969, she died. Was a racketeer who ran numbers enterprises in Harlem, New York in the early 20th century. St. Clair resisted the mafia's interests for several years after prohibition ended. She became a local legend for her public denunciations of corrupt police and resisting mafia control. She ran a successful numbers game in Harlem and was an activist for the Black community. Her nicknames included Queenie, Madam Queen, Madam St. Clair, and Queen of the Policy Rackets. So sister girlfriend was running them numbers. She from the island. Yeah, she from the island. And she was very in good connection with our southern brother, Sox Kakalaki brother, Bumpy Johnson, whose name Chief Holiday's uncle, Supreme Chief Holiday's uncle, Bumpy Johnson, Ellsworth Raymond Bumpy Johnson, because he had a bump on the side of his head. I told Willie they could be cousins because we got a bump on the side of his head too. But his name was Ellsworth Raymond Bumpy Johnson, born in Charleston, South Carolina, October 31st, 1905. Now, he was a Scorpio, born on Halloween, Pumpkinhead, to Margaret Moultrie and William Johnson. He was 10. His older brother Willie was accused of killing a white man. Afraid of a possible lynch mob, his parents mortgaged their tiny home to raise money to send Willie up north to live with relatives. So Johnson's nickname Bumpy is derived from a bump on the back of his head. So wow, they was doing lynch mobs back in when he was 10 years old. So that's 1905. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Damn, they was doing lynch mobs in 1915, 16. Because if they was doing that, she sent his brother up here north for being accused of killing a white man back down there in South Carolina. So they sent his brother up here, like around 1916, up north to avoid. I didn't know they was doing lynch mobs in 1915. I thought that had stopped in the 1800s, but I guess not. Wow, interesting. So here's some more pictures of Bumpy. You know, they call him New York City Police Department, Bureau of Criminal Identification. He was wanted in Harlem. They call him the Harlem Godfather. Okay. That's a picture of him certainly when he was younger. And then there's an older picture. Oh, Bumpy Johnson, Chief Holiday's uncle. And this is some more pictures of him. You know, Bumpy. I didn't know that his daughter was on drugs and she was in love with Malcolm X. Obviously, that's obvious. She was in love with Malcolm. It ain't no way in the hell Malcolm X didn't know this woman was in love with him. I mean, she was his secretary. She traveled with him. Even when he went to Africa, she went with him, supposedly. Um, I don't know. You can be with Malcolm X and not want to be in his arms. I don't know. Ain't no way in the hell she did love Malcolm. So I seen a little article. Johnson guilty on dope charges. So he was selling dope. Ellsworth convicted on 2 counts in Manhattan, arrested in March for $675 heroin sales. One at Harlem Johnson's was found with co-defendant Pettigrew, who is termed blah, 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 Johnson face. What's the article? It's a little cut off, but yeah. Wow, look at Bumpy. So now I'm just moving into this because now today we got all these smoke shops. Okay. I mean, where do smoke shops buy their products? That's what I want to know. Modernized drug spots. That's what I call it. Because now we have these little smoke shops in our community and they sell weed. I don't care, whatever you call it. But I see when you're reading their sales signs and stuff, they societize. Hey, Lady Moon and Straight Smoke. They use word change usage, corporate word usage, not to make it sound like, yep, the government's the new drug dealers. Okay. So they have these to me, in my opinion, because brothers and people, because of all races, okay, was going to jail for having weed, selling weed. That was a crime. And again, once again, after, Madam C. Clear with the numbers racket, here we come with the lottery numbers. What grew off of what we used to do? The government makes it official and okay. So Madam Sinclair was going to jail for numbers racking, but now the whole government, they got the lotto, they got all lottery tickets. Everything grew from what we used to do. So it's like everything we did, the government established it. So now you can go in any store. You go in a grocery store to get your numbers, all kinds. You could go to the corner store and get your numbers. You could go online and play your numbers. You don't even have to go in the store no more. Everything that the Indian did, it was deemed illegal, and the government made it legal. A hot mess. You got the casinos, all this stuff derived from it being, when we did it, play cards, shoot dice, think of all the games we play that was deemed illegal. Because I remember when I was little, dudes used to shoot dice and the cops would come and break it up and then they scatter. As a little kid, they used to pitch pennies, throw horseshoes. The cops come around. But now you can roll dice, everything in the casino, everything grew and became these $billion industries. Everything the Indian did, they just slap them down because they're citizens, no longer Indian. Oh, it's just a hot mess. So now smoke shops sell a range of items from pipes and rolling papers to flavored herbs and vape supplies. Smoke shop accessories include grinders, glass pipes, bongs, rolling papers, and more. Buying wholesale from vendors is the best route for smoke shop owners to ensure quality product selection at an affordable price. When selecting a smoke shop supplier, consider factors such as product selection, pricing, ease of ordering, and customer care. So now this verbiage, of course, It's totally different from Pookie and Ray Ray. Yo, I got the best shit right here, But the government took it and made it more presentable, presented it, advertised more professionally. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Pookie and them, I got the best shit on the block. And then your neighbors tell you, he got garbage. His weed is green and nasty. But so here's the government's way of advertising. A hot mess, right? Now, and Pookie and Ray Ray can't sell. Hey, Queen, mine. Pookie and Ray Ray can't sell their little weed on the blocks. But what the government do? They allowed South Indians to come in, open smoke shops, dispensaries all over the United States. I'm serious. You can go in the smoke shop, buy your weed, and go home. They even talking about now, and this is just alleged rumors. They even talking about now where they're gonna have like places like businesses like DoorDash will deliver you your weed from the smoke shop, because next door to the smoke shop is the liquor store. They already delivering liquor from the liquor store to people's homes with DoorDash and these transportation services businesses. So remember, Pookie and Ray Ray was riding around in their 98s. Remember back in the day in the early 90s, the 98 was the car, or their little truck, and motorcycles making their little deliveries. They go to jail. Now they got people who are gonna start now. You could have your damn weed delivered from you. I be seeing old 80-year-old ladies going in the smoke shop to buy weed. All race of people, not just no old black lady. I be seeing old white ladies going in the smoke shop buying a bag of weed. They talk about it's for pain. Nah, they going to buy their weed. And now, because it's so dangerous now they're going to have the ability to have that shit delivered to their house right from Uber or DoorDash. They got the hell out of that. This is a hot mess. Straight Smoke, you better speak to American isness. You're going to get beat up. So, yeah, a hot mess. So, smoke shop versus dispensaries. Now, it seems to be a difference between the two. Smoke shops and dispensaries are popular destinations for smokers. Look how they run this. Smoke shops and dispensaries are popular destinations for smokers and wellness enthusiasts alike. Rolling papers, detox products, bongs, pipes, hookahs, and other vape supplies are all products you can find in smoke shops. See how their verbiage usage is different from Pookie and Ray Ray's. And most of the people that have the dispensary shops and like this are people from Southeast Asia. So the government got their own drug dealers over here. Replaced Pookie with them. Dispensaries, meanwhile, sell a range of hemp-based products, including CBD oil. These products are strictly regulated, but may offer greater health benefits for wellness lifestyle habits when taken correctly. I'm done. Additionally, you can find various food items like edibles, or specialized nutrition bars in both smoke shops and dispensaries. I'm done. So you saying they got lace brownies? Ultimately, dispensaries serve those looking for natural remedies, while smoke shops suit recreational shoppers. However, because because products needs vary among consumers, there is sometimes overlap between the two customer bases. So they got these I guess that's supposed to be the weed and the vapor. I seen people at my job with the little vape with the little oil in it. And I always thought, see, I'm dumb because I don't smoke weed, drink, or do none of this stuff. Not knocking nobody that enjoys it either. But I recall seeing people at my job with the little vapor that has the little oil in it. I thought that was oil or some kind of chemical to make you quit smoking. Come to find out, girlfriend, she said, hell no, this is my weed and you can't smell it. I'm like, oh my God. So they have all these little collections. Now, I don't knock nobody who enjoys their self. Everybody has their own right to privacy, but I'm just showing how if Pookie and Ray Ray was standing on the block with a little table laid out and this was on there, his ass going to jail. For real, back in the day. Now, they done modernize it up. Now, these little red things here on the end, that's some kind of, to me, it was Easter candy. Because I love these candies with the sugar on it. They was like some sort of like jelly bean. But not with the stuff in it. But literally, I used to buy these as a kid. They were bigger and they look like when you peel an orange and it has sugar on it. I loved those without the stuff in it, of course. I used to tear them up when I was little. So now I learned that Snoop Dogg opened an online cannabis shop shipping direct to the U.S. consumers. In January 2023, California, SWED, a Snoop Dogg store. Okay, go ahead, Snoop. So that's the first black person that I hear didn't have a problem opening it. Now, I don't know where anywhere else is in the world, but don't know Nagas have no smoke shops here. Now, we got the bodegas, but there ain't no damn smoke shops. But the smoke shops around here are owned predominantly by people of Asian descent. So if I was Pookie and Ray Ray, I'd be pissed too. South Asians own the liquor stores predominantly. Indians from India or those of Indian descent own liquor stores and other businesses in the United States, including gas stations, hotels, and convenience stores. South Asians' business in the United States. Reports suggest that Indians are prominent in the ownership of gas stations and liquor stores. That's a fact. Some, because when we was little, all we seen was our people selling at these liquor stores, on these liquor stores and gas stations. Well, I don't know what happened. Some sources mention Indian-owned chain like Harry's and Cancun's gas stations alongside liquor stores and mom-and-pop businesses. There are examples of family-run businesses such as the McCarr family in Grand Rapids who own liquor stores. Some have said that South Asians dominate the convenience store industry in the United States. So that's that. I'm going to stop there for a minute because then now we're going to get into something else. But I was looking to see because a lot of our men, Pookies and Ray Rays, and they're just because Pookie and Ray Ray sold weed don't mean that they were murderers. And I keep hearing them say that, it's we went to jail. I did a bid for selling weed, an ounce of weed. I had an ounce of weed on me or whatever. And they can't open up these a dispensary. And I was really looking to see if they can get licenses. And that's when I learned that they with the bullshit, unless it's just me. Because here in this article, I'm going to blow it up a little bit more. And I just pulled up one, like, it says, can criminally convicted person participate in the cannabis business in New York? This is in New York. It says marijuana businesses are heavily regulated by the state. And most states have set guidelines that disqualify a person who was ever involved in any criminal activities. According to the eligibility criteria of the New York Liquor Authority, a felony convicted individual isn't eligible to obtain a license without receiving a pardon. So they have to go through the process of getting a pardon. And they have that in here in Connecticut where you can get pardons. Having a certificate of good conduct or a certificate of relief from civil disabilities. This is in New York. However, nonviolent felonies like marijuana cultivation, possession, or transportation, and other misdemeanors, crimes punishable by less than 12 months, often have better chances as compared to other types of convictions like robbery, murder, rape, and assault. So if you ain't got that linger on you, there is a chance you can open it. Now, as per section 137, certain felony convictions related to the operation of a business and the trafficking of cannabis in the last 3 years may not be able to obtain a license to sell manufactured cannabis or cannabis products. So here is a list of the offenses that aren't eligible to get a license by the government: fraud, money laundering, forgery, or other unlawful conduct related to, pertaining, and owning a business; recruiting, hiring, or indulging a minor in transportation, distributing, carrying, selling, preparing for sale, or peddling any controlled substance to a minor; or selling, offering to sell, furnishing, offering to provide, administering, or handing any controlled substance to a minor. The other reasons that can cause license disqualification: when a person doesn't have good moral character. I guess you got to go to pastor and say, oh, he's a good boy, he's saved. Violating the cannabis law, section 72 or 85. Whether creates or increases the dangers of unlawful practices, methods, and activities in the marijuana industry. And I can understand that if somebody has these great potentials and they end up with fentanyl and be doing dumb shit. License associated with cannabis canceled, revoked, or suspended in a jurisdiction or any other state. Purposely not submitting fingerprints for criminal background checks as per section 138 of the cannabis law. Delinquent in filing tax returns or paying any amount owed to the federal, state, or local government. Like when you saw them pictures I showed you back in the roaring 20s of those liquor license prohibit. They want the government want they cut. You got to pay your taxes. You open a cannabis store, you got to pay the government tax. You got to pay the federal and state and local. So you got three taxes you paying. Federal government want they cut, the state government want they cut, and the local government means that municipality that allow you to open up that cannabis store, smoke shop. Can a criminally convicted person participate in the cannabis business in New Jersey? Unlike the closest neighbor, New York, New Jersey believes in hate the crime, not the criminal. In the last few months, New Jersey has made many headlines by prioritizing prior cannabis felons to legally enter the market. Okay, so in New Jersey, now it doesn't matter whether the cannabis convicted felons have expunged their prior convictions or not. The official website of New Jersey shows that diversely owned business, social equity businesses, and impact zone businesses will be given priority in the licensure process. It clearly reflects that their applications will be reviewed before other applicants. Here is a list of disqualifying convictions. This is in New Jersey: booby traps in manufacturing and distribution stores, hiring a juvenile in a drug distribution or similar indictable offense that involves a minor. Okay, that's distribution to persons below 18 years old, So you could be 18 years old in New Jersey and get your weed. Interesting. Counterfeit drugs, medical devices, delivering drug paraphernalia to persons under 18. Because idiots that's 21 and up, all the way up to 50, will give somebody whose ass is grown, 17, a bong. They do that because y'all dumb. Any state or federal offense involving fraud, deceit, or embezzlement as a necessary element of offense. What about Mississippi? Mississippi medical cannabis dispensary regulations have described disqualifying felony offenses as a conviction for crime of violence. The definition is Mississippi Code Section 97-3-2. So driving under the influence, murder and attempts of murder, aggravated assault, manslaughter, killing, kidnapping, human trafficking, poison, rape, robbery, sexual, drive-by shooting or bombing, carjacking, felonious neglect, abuse or battery of a child, burglary, use of explosives or weapons of mass destruction, exploitation of a child, gratification of lust, shooting into dwelling. Bottom line, being a prior felony convict surely doesn't leave a wide door open of employment opportunity. So it all depends. Like in New Jersey, it's a little lenient. It's state by state. So yeah, I this is why our state is heavily loaded with foreigners owning the stores because of different states, different laws. Like I was looking to see in Connecticut how like expensive it is to like let me see in Connecticut here to like if you open the smoke to get your license. So if you're a cultivator, $1,000. That's the license in Connecticut. And you can raise $1,000 up. You can get money from like 20 people in your family, and there's your money to get your license for a cultivator. Non-social equity fees, $25,000. Micro cultivator, $250. Non-social equity fees, $500. A retailer, $500. Non-social equity fees, $5,000. Product manufacturer, $750. And for non-social equity fees, $5,000. So that's not a whole lot of money for an average Pookie to pay. So if they don't, a lot of Pookie and Ray just go to jail for dumb shit. So they could check in to see, their character got to be right. And I mean, to have the second chance opportunity to open up like a smoke shop and they're selling, the cannabis because you're doing business with another, I guess, wholesale. I don't know how this shit works. I'm not a drug dealer, but I hear them often complain online. I'm like, damn, if you could be on YouTube for 24 goddamn hours, what's your problem getting something civilly legal for yourself? I'm like, I don't know. They just too many excuses. Or take your asses to bed. For real. It's too much complaining and no action. That's the way I see it. So that's the way I pretty much see it. But it just I'm like, wow. All these things our sons went to jail for, the government came along and legalized it, made it official. So what happens is you get if the governor's selling weed, I don't know if businesses like smoke shops are selling weed and the edibles, so now that takes a lot off the drug dealer, because when now it's like if you buy weed, whatever, I would be scared to buy weed from drug dealers on the block, only because you're more likely to end up having some damn fentanyl in your shit, Whereas if you go to the smoke shop or the dispensary, you ain't gonna be hit with no fentanyl. And a lot of people, probably a lot of drug dealers, probably didn't know that their weed, depending on who they brought it from, had that shit in it. So, and then the trust issue, the character with the state, like, would this idiot do business with the cartels from Mexico and having fentanyl and adding it and all that shit? It's kind of hard. Does the government want to be reliable for issuing this person this license and you just do something fucked up? And y'all know our people always do some effed up stuff. So I don't know. I just think that the government grew off of everything our community established, like running numbers. That's a big one. Lottery. The lottery is huge. That's billions. And here you was going to jail for numbers racketeering. But yet they established one. That's just wrong. But when you're a citizen of the United States, those are the things that count against you. Now, if your ass was just traveling along the land free like these idiots ask you to do, live up the land, yet you're going to be in a war with the United States and you have no protection. So they'll kill you. So you have a choice, being a civilized citizen or uncivilized citizen walking around free on the land, and you think you're going to run your little numbers and sell your little weed and stuff. They could kill you because now you don't have no protection. Rights and protection. They could just kill you, and ain't nobody going to jail for your death because they don't have jurisdiction over you, remember? So I don't know. Shay Shun, shut up. So I don't know it's showing that there are possibilities that Pookies and Ray Rays can sell it. Snoop Dogg got it. In my state, it doesn't seem to be that hard. And I don't know. I mean, now they got Uber drivers getting ready to start delivering this stuff, and DoorDash, places like that, is going to be starting to deliver you. I don't know, is the driver going to take out a few little pieces? The real one before he get there or after? I don't know. That's kind of weird. But, I mean, if you're a woman in your 70s and you don't want to go out to drive out or get to the smoke shop to get your weed, what are you going to do? You're going to call an Uber. So they're going to be making mad money. Uber drivers will now be back running the streets, delivering drugs. Didn't Pookie Ray Ray do that? They drive everywhere, driving from state to state and house to house, making their little deliveries. Now Uber drivers are doing it. And it's just like, wow. I'm like, wow, really? Really? And from what I'm hearing, since Trump began issuing the deportation, a lot of people from different countries, the Middle East predominantly, are being these Uber drivers. They don't even understand English, but they can understand the GPS in their language. They just know to drop it off. But a lot of them went back to their countries voluntarily. So now I'm hearing DoorDash and Uber is like really busy now for American citizens who have those jobs. They're getting a lot of deliveries now because all those foreigners that was taking over that industry have ran back to their country before United States get their butts. So that business has picked up. So now more American citizens are going to be little drug dealers. And I be seeing women of all ages, and they do it in secretly. People you be talking to on the phone, they be driving, they be dashing. Now they keep it such a big secret. And I understand they want to be private. Because if you could make $200 in a day quickly, and if or you're a single mom and your mother lives with you and your baby, mom watch the kid while you do like a second shift from like 3 to 10 or 3 to 11 dashing, that's pretty good. if you dash for 4 hours, you can make a quick $150. And you tally that up at the end of the week, you got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's $1,000 within 5 days. And that's a good little piece of money for a mom who's single and she want to do little things with her child or get some extra food because the food prices is so high. I don't know. But a lot of those foreigners left and it opened up more space for that, is basically what I'm saying. So, bub. Anybody want to talk about it before I go into the next segment? Well, the next segment is really quick. You can stay up. I'll open the panel early because I don't plan to be on here that long. Remember, I said I was going to try to cut down. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Shayshan. I'm going to open up the panel because I could be wrong about, the licensing of cannabis and the ins and outs of our people being able to work in that industry or be successful. You just find a little dingied up place, fix it up, and you can start, getting connected with a distributor, get your license. I'm just saying, I don't know how that works. I'm not a drug dealer, but I keep hearing our people talk about it and make such excuses. But the link is pinned to the top. Y'all could come on up now. It's open because I want to get educated a little bit because I don't know. And y'all might can educate me on it because I don't know your thoughts. So I'll wait for y'all to come on up. On up. Come on up because I got some questions I want to ask y'all. I want to know, hey, Demita, Shayshan, Isness, Queen Mai. If the link is pinned to the top. Smoke, I don't know. Straight smoke. Anybody familiar with the licensing to sell cannabis? Anybody educated? I don't know. I just gave you the basic. And my personal feeling, my personal thought is shit. A man or a woman in their 50s, retirement age, 50 to 55. I don't see the problem opening up your own little smoke shop. When you got your little TV in there, your little cable, and your smoke shop is open. What's the problem? You got your TV in there. You're watching YouTube. You're watching Netflix. And you got your little, what's up with that? What's the problem there? I would like to know. What's the holdup? Don't be scared to hit my panel. I'm not fierce. I don't make threats. I don't fight people on my panel. That's hey, Kahi. Anybody educated about the cannabis stores? Hit the link. Thank you, love. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Huh? Thank you, Kahi. I would like to know what problem. Sounds like a good retirement job to me. For real, Christopher? Oh, hit the link. Come and tell me about that. And he owned a store and they did this? Yeah, don't be scared to hit the link. Come on now. I'm waiting for y'all. I get it, Adrian. I get it. I want to hear this story. I want to hear about that, Chris. Got robbed at the store. Well, maybe he should just have a little damn window where they come up to the window of his store. Well, I mean, if you doing this in the hood, I wouldn't strongly man open arms and open doors. I would have like a little damn window, like the Chinese people did when it was COVID. You could not come in their restaurant. They had a little damn window where they slid it open and they handed you your damn food and you was out. They wasn't playing. So if you in the hood, I mean, you have to fix your store so that you're not, robbed or set up. I will personally have a little window where you hand it out the window like you're pulling up to a gas station. You pull up to the gas station and there's somebody in a little booth. That way, they can't get robbed because the window is bulletproof. And you're, something like that. I mean, there's many ways you can protect your business. You don't have to have an open store. So, I mean, I don't know. You have to talk with your local government and municipalities on how you want to do it. And you just have certain hours where you conduct business. And, I would be as close as possible. Might make sure my business is as close as possible to a damn police station. For real. In the community. I wouldn't even personally sell in the hood, to be honest. You're talking about wanting to be safe. I wouldn't recommend it in the hood. I would go like a little on the outskirt of it where people aren't reluctant to walk in your business. Because when you go in New York, there's so many locations. So I don't know. I guess nobody has any great ideas. So I'll just move on. Y'all stink. I ought to get more people that's not afraid to come on a panel. People who don't mind coming on a panel, that don't mind not getting threatened. Most people that come on the panels, they like to get threatened and cussed out and be called hoes and bitches and punks and niggas. I don't like that kind of panel. So maybe the reason why I don't hold that kind of panel is why I don't get people to come up here, because that's not what you're going to get from my panel. I don't like chaos. So I like talking about it. And like when I went on Gigi's panel, none of that went down. Engine, can you just do me a small favor, Engine Radio? And I seen you fell off, and turn your camera on just in the back. I just want to make sure you're a real person. You come on up. I'll wait. It seems like somebody was getting ready to come up here. So I'll play a little something until we get somebody up here. So it's open. I'll wait a few minutes. I'll wait for a few minutes, I see some folks trying to get up here. I don't know if it's their connections. Hi, Engine Radio. Hi, Engine Radio. Hi.
Hey, how's it going, sis?
How you doing, Engine Radio?
All right, how you doing?
I'm okay.
That's good.
What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Yeah, I had a little something to say about that with the cannabis business thing, about the Too Short
Yeah, what
brother
happened?
situation. Yeah, so his brother
I don't know if you muted your mic or what, Engine. I can't hear you. Something's wrong with your connection, I think. Because I can't hear you. We're having a little. I think my panel guest is having a little technical difficulty, so I'll give him a little time. Engine radio. Your audio needs to be connected. I can't hear you at all. But he was coming up to tell me about the guy who got killed. Cause okay, there you go. Now you gotta unmute your mic. You see the microphone with the yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay, I fell off. Okay.
There you
Yeah.
go. I can hear you now, but you just might want to turn your music down in the background.
Okay. 1 second.
Nope, you hit your mic.
Okay.
There.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So what happened?
Yeah, so Two Shorts, I believe his younger brother out in East Oakland. I believe back in January. So it was a group of people was attempting to ram through the front door of the business.
What did they have? A smoke shop or what was it?
Yeah, it was actual cannabis business in East Oakland. Yeah, so I guess once they was finally successful to get in, I guess Too Short, his brother was trying to stop him, and then in this attempt to stop them, they shot him, and he died later on.
So what? They were trying to raid the place?
Yeah, they were trying to. Yeah, they were trying to raid it. You know, a lot of them they got like the little theft proof, doors. So they was actually trying to ram their truck through the door to get in because they know they can't really like break in easily. So in an attempt, I guess, to stop them, I believe he like came outside, was confronting them, and then they ended up shooting, killing him.
Damn.
Yeah, so you gotta be careful in that business. Also, there's actually a lot of robberies actually happen in that business. They just don't talk about it as much. But a lot of people do get robbed and get deleted and things like that happen often.
So they come in there and stick them up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, stick them up. Yeah.
So they had a shop that you actually walk in rather than a window. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was like I think Too Short ran it with him, but his brother owned it though. Too Short wasn't there. Yeah.
So he robbed his own brother's store? I'm confused.
No, it was a group of guys that robbed Too Short's younger brother's store. But Too Short ran it. I believe him and his brother was partners in it.
Okay.
But yeah, Too Short just wasn't there though that day.
So why did they rob him? Did they just randomly want to rob him, or did he shortchange him, or what?
I don't know. Pretty much just probably trying to get the money because it's very lucrative. So that's why a lot of people stick up a lot of people in that business because they just break in and they'll go in the little back and take all the marijuana out of there and any money that might be there, and they come up and they'll sell it to somebody else for cheaper. So,
wow, that's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah.
So it seems to me that they just need more security. Like they need more security. Like if they're gonna do that, they first to save the money, they have like a drop because most stores have like a drop where you drop and nobody can get in that.
Right.
That drop.
Yeah, they do have security there, some of them, but yeah, they probably don't be as reliable all the time.
Yeah, in that business, you're gonna have an armed guard, I would say.
Right, like top-notch security.
Yeah, armed guard. Like they could hire part-time armed guards to split the days in half. Like you could have like 2 retired armed guards in their 50s that want to work 4 hours a day, and you can get them to split the shift.
Right.
And those two armed guards could work together. Like, okay, I don't feel like going in on the first shift. You want to do first shift? I do second shift. It's ways you can work that.
Right. True. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's pretty. It looked like it happened early in the morning. It was like 7 a.m. So they probably was scoping that out, and they seen that probably security wasn't there around that time. So.
No, that the minute you go in, that armed guard got to be with you for 4 hours,
right?
And then that armed guard can't leave until the next one show in. They got to get the business right.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Can't be sleeping on that job. Got to be on your P's and Q's. Yeah.
I mean, I was just thinking, because there's so many. Once you're a drug dealer for so many years, And to sell something as, little as cannabis, you already have the skill to sell it. You already got
Right.
the skills, and you already have your customers from when you went to damn jail.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
Why
So
the
you got to.
government would not allow, or I guess that's just the government's goal. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Allow a person that can't get a job nowhere else, but he can get a job what he's good at.
Right. Yeah. You definitely got to
I
be
don't know.
careful in that. Yeah. Yeah. You definitely got to be careful in that business. Also, it's not like
Yeah,
being on the streets, but it's still still dangerous.
yeah, I guess, but I don't know. It doesn't. It just seems like it's not that dangerous to me because they're selling. If you're going to be selling edibles and things of that nature, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
personally wouldn't open
I
up
th-
one because I'm not a real tail person. Oh,
right.
hey, I see you. I see you.
Yeah, I thought about it too at one point in time, but yes, there's a lot of red tape into it and stuff also. But
Well,
yeah,
what red tape?
definitely got.
What's the red tape? You got. That's why you're here.
Oh,
What's
you
the
got to.
red tape?
Oh, so you have to do train. It's trainings you have to do prior to
So why not? What's
a
wrong with taking
schedule.
the trainings?
Where they have them on different. It's a different location, so it's not like a place you just go like for everyday training. It's it kind of like a pop up type thing. So it depends. They kind of like pop up in different areas, and it's not like a regular like course, like a accredited type thing. So it's like something you got to be in to know, or know someone that knows about it. Because I remember when I first learned about it, it was like from a radio station, and I was just happened to be listening to the radio that day, and they was talking. They said, "Yeah, we have a little pop up workshop at this time, this day," and then they canceled it last
Well,
minute
that's why.
because
That's
something
why
happened.
you go to the. That's why you go to the Better Business Bureau for small businesses, whatever. They tell you
Yeah, that's true.
the Better Business Bureau usually have like that type of information for you. That's what they're there for.
Oh, okay,
If you're
okay,
going to the better, you don't go in the street to get the word. You go to a professional place. That's the biggest mistake, Pookie Ray Ray.
right,
You go to the Better Business Bureau, and that's what helped them determine if they want to deal with you. If you're going to them directly
hmm,
to get the information on how can you get your license, what do you have to do, what are the steps? Well, if you're a convicted felon, one of the things you need to first try and get is a pardon, but in some states, they don't require you to have a pardon if it was just minor offenses. So I don't know. It's just
yeah,
that's
it's
the
true.
problem. That the biggest problem with our people is they don't want to put in the effort. They don't want to put in the real work to do it. And that's the real
Yeah,
work to do it. They don't want to be bothered with that. So therefore,
yeah, a
now
lot.
your ass is on YouTube for 24 hours. So forget you.
Yeah,
The the
right.
Asian guy and the Indian guy is going for it because they're not just coming
Yeah,
over
a
here
lot.
opening businesses. They do have to go through
Right,
um trainings here. And not only that, remember, if they're coming from the Middle East, their countries are paying for their licenses. So they're coming over here rich. They're coming over here to
right,
work for their countries.
right. Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, that's
it's
another
it's
thing too.
nothing,
Yeah,
right? It's nothing for their countries to like contact Connecticut to get the licenses and pay for it for their people that they're sending over
right,
here to work their smoke shops. But
right.
when it comes to,
They
they just
got
lazy.
they.
They don't want to do shit. I can't be bothered.
Yeah, a
Huh?
lot of people. A lot of our people. They just don't know. Also, it's a lot of stuff our people don't know. Also, just because how they was brought up, or environments we was brought up in. So a lot of
Yeah, they
people.
just
A
don't
lot of our people
know.
don't
But
know
then
stuff
when you
about
try to
businesses.
tell
Yeah.
them, they're like, "Man, I ain't doing all that." And then there you go. You're on YouTube for 24 hours complaining. So okay, we're telling you what you have to do. I can guide you, okay, but I'm not gonna hold your hand. Here's what you
Right.
got to do. Get your pardon. There's people who literally specialize in helping you get your pardon, filling out your paperwork and helping you write up, the necessary information needed to help in hopes for you to get your pardon. But when you get niggas, they don't want to be bothered with that. So therefore,
Yeah,
they,
yeah, that's true
you
too.
got that's where the complaining coming. So I can't be bothered with people like
Mm.
that. If they're not
Yeah.
enthusiastic, don't bother. Hey, Ali Bamu, I'ma just mute you, Indian radio, because your background is loud.
Okay.
Hey, Ali
Uh,
Bamu,
good,
what's up?
good afternoon, my sister from another mister. I I seem to have a real hard time to get people to focus on something practical. Can I walk with you a moment on something?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Give me like 30 seconds. I gotta go run and get something. Hang on.
Well, you haven't played my love song in a while. You could mix that up for me.
What's up, Alabama? How you doing?
What's happening, Captain?
Much,
While
not
she's
much,
getting
man.
herself situated, are you familiar with the quote unquote black farmers lawsuit? First entitled
Uh,
Pickford 1 and Pickford 2.
yes, I am. It's the USDA, right?
Were right, the discriminatory behavior of the Department of Agriculture. This is back to April. It's either the 14th or the 15th. I can't remember which. I had to pull it back up, but it was 1999. That would be the last 18
All right.
months, two
Sorry about
years
that, Ali Bamu.
of the Clinton administration. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead. I have
No, I was wanting to use the example of the settlement and try to walk through it with a couple of bullet points, and then pick your brain on what your perspective is. Now, this 5 billion, it's 4.5. Let me round it up to 5 billion to make the
you're
numbers
staticky a little bit,
bounce.
Ali Bamu. You're a little
Uh,
staticky.
okay, you want me to go out and come
Yeah.
back in because I'm going through the car and I'm driving.
Oh, yeah. Go out and come right back in.
It's a pretty interesting business though. I don't know too much about it myself, but just the little that when I was first looking into it.
Okay, there you
But
go. Okay, I see you. Okay.
Is that better, or is it? It's probably going to be some pops and snap crackle pop in the out here in squatulating Squatterville, but no, and exactly the point that I'm bringing up. Why the quote unquote black farmers, who are the actual Americans, because if they're copper colored Aborigines and their descendants, they're the adjudicated aggrieved party from Pickford 1 and 2. That's what I was asking. Engine Radio, is that what you go by? Engine Radio? I was asking him if he was aware of it and what the settlement means. So let me just do some quick arithmetic. Numbers are very bad for people to listen to, but just let me round them out. So $5 billion that is set aside because it's adjudicated. That means it's either in the Treasury Department or both, probably handled by J.P. Morgan Chase, let's say, because it's the largest criminal banksters operating in this criminal enterprise. Now, most people, I think, are aware anytime you deposit money, money does not sit in a bank in your account. And if most people weren't aware, if you deposited $10,000, the bank generates $9,000 off of your $10,000 to loan out. But let's just stay with the number itself. So the money is sitting in an account that's already been allocated by the federal government because this is an award, right, sis? Because I always bow to you for your legal expertise. So once an award amount has been adjudicated, that means injury has been proven. Would you agree? Because the 5 billion wouldn't have been allocated if it hadn't, through whatever evidence was provided, proven that the farmers that are called black were discriminated by the Department of Agriculture. Right?
Okay. Right.
So the money itself is sitting in an account generating, I'm just going to use a simple base number, 1% interest compounded daily. Do you know that penny generates $50 million a day off of 5 billion? Did you know that, Engine Radio?
No, I didn't.
Now, follow me for a second. Just walk me from, because I'm trying to deal with this practically and try to encourage those who are mentally challenged to understand how you're getting fucked and why you don't understand how you get to address it. You feel me, sis? So the 1% compounded interest daily is what the criminals are using, the banksters. That 50 million every day. Do you know of 50,000 farmers? And I think the number in the actual lawsuit was around 60,000 that they narrowed down to 3,000, even those that made the deadline or when they extended the deadline, my sister. So they reduced 60,000 to 3, but I'm going to stay with 50,000 for the number. 50,000 farmers would get $1,000 a day in their account. Could you do something with $1,000 a day, Engine Radio?
I know I can.
Oh yeah, I sure can.
So by the end of the week, that's $7,000 a week. $28,000 in a month. Do you think farmers could be getting business tended to, regardless of the fact, and this is what pisses me off, my queen, the agriculture commissioner of the state of Texas, a white nigga with an afro, Sid Miller is his name, stepped aside from his public responsibility as the agriculture commissioner of the entire state, who, by the way, got $900 million last year, budgeted from the Department of Agriculture. The majority of it went to cotton, which I find very amusing. He then had the nerve to shop, as they call it, lawfare. Is that what these folks on that side of the aisle call lawfare? He shopped for a friendly judge that allowed him to blow up the settlement, and he had the nerve to say he had a nigga in his woodpile, my sister. And he felt discriminated by this amount being adjudicated for so-called black farmers. But here's the added insult to the injury, Engine Radio. It was less than 1 out of 4 farmers in the complaint considered so-called black. Do you feel what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah, I can resend the article to you. I've sent this stuff to you before, but I wanted to just deal with the overall picture of the settlement. And please enlighten me if I'm in error, that when $5 billion was awarded, that proved the Department of Agriculture discriminated specifically against the American known as the Negro.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
You got to turn.
So what say you, sis?
Well, who were the other farmers? You said 1 black out of how many?
When you go look through the article, and I'll resend it to you and I'll text it back to you. 25% of the class action category, which is what I find amusing, because that is a great question to ask. But regardless of whether there are other farmers that are non-American, I'm using my language specifically because anyone who is not American is a United States citizen. You feel me?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the $5 billion is what I want us to focus on, and the amount of money that's still being generated, because this is on appeal. The money has not gone away. For example, do you know that it's already been $30 billion awarded just in the budget from last year in December? Has not a dime of that moved? Now imagine how much that is compounded every day.
Is that because lack of farmers, or?
No, that's because of the freezing of the subsidies for the actual USAID, where there are warehouses full of foodstuff and product that the farmers have shipped but did not get paid for. You feel me?
Oh, wow.
So if 5 billion, 1% every day, generates 50 million, don't you think 30 billion generates 300 million a day?
Damn.
Right. That's some big money right there.
I would be interested to know how many farmers we have that are American.
Well, that's why I'm hoping that to encourage Dr. John Boyd to visit with my good sister. And if you weren't aware, his current adjudication is in his name. Dr. John Boyd versus the United States government.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that.
So yeah, I see the case right here.
But what do you think about the numbers, the formula that I just shared with you?
That's insane. I'm pulling up the
Do
case.
you know they also canceled $1 billion in funding for schools and food banks? I'm going to try to see if I can
I
copy
did
this
see
to you in
that.
private
I
chat.
did see that. Canceling the fund. Well, the food banks. I don't know. I got
No,
an issue.
I'm trying to send this to you. Can you see it in the private chat? 'Cause I never
Let me
know if I
see.
can make this work right.
Yeah, I see something that came in.
And
USDA
let me
bill.
see if I can send you that article. And the agriculture commissioner's name is Sid Miller.
Okay, so I see this with the. I did see this. Let me share this with everybody. Cutting the food. Well, to keep a buck, a lot of little kids don't eat that shit.
Well, yeah, it's not necessarily. Okay. We kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, whether or not we're eating pesticide ridden, not quite organic, if you know what I'm saying. But I'm all right. There's the article for the white nigga with an afro, Sid Miller, the agriculture commissioner. But I'm going to send you this as well. If you didn't see this when he first was interviewed, this is Dr. John Boyd. Democracy Now!, which is a very interesting interview. This was a separate pot of $2 billion that was actually dispersed. It's not the $4.5 billion that I was talking about as an example.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture is cutting 2 federal programs that provided about $1 billion in funding to schools and food banks to buy food directly from local farms, ranchers, and producers. Part of what the agency said was a decision to return to long-term fiscally responsible initiatives. But okay, the move cancels about $660 million in funding this year for the local food for schools program, which is active in 40 U.S. states, as well
And
as
that
about
impacts the school
420.
districts. That impacts the school districts directly.
To keep it a buck, a lot of these kids don't eat this shit. I know my grandsons don't eat it.
No, I got it. And don't get me wrong, sis. I'm not arguing for or against it. I'm saying, as far as the farmers are concerned, I'm talking about the direct hit to their economy, to how they conduct their business. Now, that article, the second one I sent you, was like I said when I was explaining about one individual blowing up a settlement that affects all of the farmers that we're calling black, who are the American known as the Negro.
Okay, are
But
you
these
talking about
United
the one
States
for
citizens.
Black Texas farmers or the democracy?
Yeah.
Now, which one?
No, that was the second article that I just sent you.
Okay.
The last one is a YouTube video. You can, bookmark that for yourself if you like. But it talked about how there's really 3 different pots of money that were attached to this adjudication. But the $4.5 billion is what's been appealed and put on hold, because that was going to go specifically to debt forgiveness, sis. So first of all, see, this is the trick of nigganology shit that's set up. They're being discriminated against by the USDA and the farm loan infrastructure, preventing them from getting the types of working capital and low interest loans to try to keep their farms. Then they go set up a second scam, if you will, lease back, buyback. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
You familiar with that Bruce Beach scandalous thing that was Manhattan Beach? Went for a brief period back to the name of the descendants, the Bruce, and then they strong-armed them to sell it back to the county for $20 million when it was worth over $1 billion.
I thought
in development.
you talking about the family Bruces. I thought that was in California.
Yeah, it was in California, but I'm showing the examples of how they do this scandalous stuff to
So the
steal
people
land back from us.
So did they end up? Did that family end up selling the beach back to him?
Yeah, for $20 million.
That's a fucking shame.
It is.
Why would they do that?
Well, when they are being blocked from being able to either do the development themselves or the development that is planned, and the developers are always in the background with the plans, right? They're not going to let some niggas get $1 billion development thing rolling. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I would have just
And
said,
this was
"Oh
all
well."
beachfront property.
Oh
It
hell
was
no!
all
That's
beachfront property.
Yeah, I know that was dumb.
Yeah. Well, when you're being driven by scales of economy and kind of a poverty mentality, you know what I mean, sis?
Yeah.
So that's why I keep saying we got to look at this practically and understand how the scam is working. So in this case, in this incident, that's why I rounded it up to 5 billion, rounded the complaints to 50,000, which by the way is down from 1 million farmers in the 1920s. And 1% generating off of a money that's allocated as guaranteed because it's tax-paying dollars distributed in the Treasury Department. That's $50 million a day. Broken down with 50,000 victims, that's $1,000 a day. Could you do something with $1,000 hitting your account every day?
Yes.
That'd be lovely.
A day, yes. But my thing is, I'm just like pissed with the Bruce. I just can't understand why they sold the beach back. That makes
Well, a lot
no
of that,
sense.
is not having the correct insight, advisors, investor type mentality. You know what I mean? Looking at it from a communal situation. The similar thing happened in Compton. Remember the Compton situation with it was like a strip center or a potential mall, and they
Oh yeah, I
refused
remember
to
that.
take the bid. You remember that story? They refused to
Yeah,
take the bid from the so-called black investors.
right. Yeah, I remember that. The Bruce Beach, they had an issue because it turned out they right next to a sewer dump. That beach, the
Oh,
area that they own it.
I'm
Yeah,
sure there was other
yeah.
interesting things that they used to strong arm them, to
Right,
put
right.
back them in a
Yeah,
corner
yeah.
and tell them, hey, you take this 20 million or nothing. Then we'll swoop back in with eminent domain, do the 21st century version of stealing through government criminality, the same way it was done the first time through white mob violence and terrorism.
I don't
But see,
know.
that's how it was taken 100 years ago in the
Well, yeah,
1920s.
100 years ago. But did they? I mean, did they
But
indeed?
that was all they did to prove. They proved all that to get it awarded back to them.
Wow.
So this the only point I'm making here, sis, is that we can prove, and I'm always going to be 100% behind whatever litigation, legal efforts that you make, because we have to. The injuries have to be put on the record. The criminal has to be notified. The fraud has to be exposed. You can't. It's an ongoing crime.
Well, to keep it a buck, it's gonna turn out it to me when you're coming, the Americans that stayed and did not go to Oklahoma, they have to go be willingly to go to the federal government either by class action or individual. And that's the problem. We have aboriginals here in the community and they don't want to come together to do something like that. They just don't. So we could talk to their blue in the face. So my thought is, if you stayed as an individual, so you have to just go and worry about yourself and fuck a class action lawsuit. Because people say they want to do things together, but then when it's time to go and sign your name on the paper, that's when they punk out and they're not real and you're left there standing alone. So with all these
Which is
issues,
Yeah, it's
probably a
true.
variation of the Bruce family situation. Besides, you already know the backbiting internal. Every time there's a death in the family, we all have this particular story of some kind on why we're losing land. Back taxes, property taxes, at each other's throats, whatever, which we are not harming anyone but ourselves. None of the
Correct.
foreign invaders are being stopped.
Correct. But the thing about the foreigners, they stick together. And foreigners that come over here, you can't knock them because they're over here to make money. I don't have anything against them. Our issue is not with them. That's the problem right there, where we got to understand. Our issue is not with the foreigner that's coming over opening business. When we let that go, leave the foreigner alone that's coming over here and opening up business, because they're doing what they have to do to open up the business. Obviously, it's legal because they have the business. I think if we put less focus on the
But
foreigner
remember everything
and
else
worry
that you
about
said
ourselves.
earlier. But remember what everything you said earlier. They have government support on both sides of the ocean. If you're talking about Asians back across the Pacific, especially these red dot Hindus, being called Indian Americans, by the way, now, they come here under it. Then they get here through the State Department, extended Caucasian white status as a United States citizen or someone on a visa track, etc. And 5 to 7 years tax free, which they use in a revolving door policy. They go back home and send a fresh one in and start the clock back over again.
Well, guess what? Again, it goes down to, and I don't have a problem with that. I can't sit here and hate on the people from India. I really can't, Ali Bamu, because they're doing something that we're lacking. We don't come to the government as a positive community. We don't. We have not come to the government as a positive community to either be approved or denied. So now we're mad at the foreigner, the person from India or Pakistan or wherever they're coming from, to come over here to open business. They come as a peaceful community. We don't go to the government like that. We don't get together and go positively and professionally to the government to try and establish things for ourselves. When did you do you recall going to the government as a group to get either approved or denied? If you haven't, then you can't knock it. We don't come together like people from India do to come over here to get a positive business. We don't do that. So if we don't do it, we can't knock it.
But here's the false argument being raised in that. It's presuming that we're going somewhere other than our own home. That's the first thing. We're not leaving here going anywhere else in any other government or any other groups of people in their communities. I'm bringing the issue up with the black farmers because they have adjudicated the government. And we, the ignorant masses who need to be fed every day, because we need food, clothing, and shelter, right, Indian Radio? Roofs over our head. Every day, as long as you walk this planet. And we are not, out of massive ignorance, understanding this adjudicated settlement. Do you feel what I'm saying, Engine Radio? So what I'm pointing out here is just the money itself, just the lump sum, the lick, is generating $50 million a day for the banksters, not for the people who have proven their adjudicated injury. Do you understand what I'm saying, sis?
I do understand what you're saying, but what are the people that currently are in adjudication for that? What are they doing about it? Wait, I got.
Like I said, on one hand, this settlement, or I should say award, because it was awarded, there's a lump sum. A white man is accusing this to be discriminatory against him, who's also claiming to have a one-drop rule. A nigga in his wood pop. Up the pen in that. Boyd has gone on his own under his name as an individual, just as you suggested, and has a current relitigation. But the other amount that I just pointed out is on appeal. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. See, this is what's not being explained to the public at large, and that's what I'm saying is the responsibility of. And I'm not putting this on your shoulders, sis. I'm just saying I defer to you as a legal expert.
Case. That's his individual.
No. I'm talking now on the explaining to the public and understanding the significance and us doing this to do what you just suggested, to rally around, to come together. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. We don't need, and that's another thing. Rallying is over. It's
No. I'm
yeah,
not talking about marching and that kind of thing. I'm
no.
talking about rallying around the issue, and it becomes an organizing effect we should all support because we all need to eat. Farming, it should be crucial to our existence, literally. That's my point, sis.
I agree. I agree. I agree there.
And I yield because I think I'm hovering around a hunky hole out here. But I just wanted to
No,
bring that to you for you to
I
understand what my perspective is on the settlement itself. And I think we're not intelligently discussing it so that we understand the significance of it. And while they're being dogged, money is being generated by these criminals from the
okay.
amount of money that's already allocated. You see what I'm saying? And by the way, they're doing the same thing with the 30 billion. That's in general for all farmers.
Okay. So this is something you found out with this current case that's right now on appeal. All right. What I'm saying is, Ali Bomai, and I agree with you 100%. Everything you're saying. Can I live off a G a day? Yes. Who couldn't? That's even crazy to even ask. But what I'm saying is the issue, you said that, we're dealing with a bunch of special people. You got to understand who you're communicating with on these panels. You're communicating with the wrong people. Yes, there are people, but they're not interested. They're simply not interested. So you have to fish with the people that are interested. That has been the problem with you the whole time. You have to deal with people that are interested, that are on your level and professional, and understand the people you've been asking of our people in the community. They don't want to do that. And yes, it hurts and it makes you angry. But what are you going to do? We can't force them to want to do this, to come together. It's hard. Our biggest problem has always been us. It's hard to get our people together to do something civil like this. It's hard, Ali Bamu. They'll
Why
start
is
off.
that? Why is that though?
With, it's just has. I don't understand why that is. I don't know if it has to do with education level, interest period. When the difficulty that I find in YouTube is people, our people, their heads are somewhere else. They can't have a conversation, a business conversation, without discussing their religion or what they believe and who they believe they are. Like, I'll give you a prime example. The most difficult person in the world to come together with, that guy, Huru the Guru. People like that. We can't search around and keep coming up trying to educate someone like him. You got to let him go and just keep looking. I mean, energy tells you people, points you to the people on your level. Speaking to somebody like that, it's just endless because their fucking brains are back in the days of Pharaoh in Egypt. So you can't do business with people like that. You got to go somewhere else. Maybe people, you don't have to be in their religion, but a lot of people in the church, you don't have to be a member of their church to reach out to people that's in like church. They're more civil. And they'll be more understanding to something that you and I want. They don't even have to be a part of your group or your program, but this is something of interest. So somebody with a more settled minds. We can't keep looking for people in YouTube that are just into content creation and giving an entertainment show. We have to find the people, and don't worry about what their religion is. If they're in church, you see they go every day, they're decent, they understand the business world. Those are the people we want to go to. You get a group of men in our community that like to do the business thing. It's just we have horrible luck in the YouTube community. We have to go outside the YouTube community and get around people who really want to listen and do something. Otherwise, you get on a panel, and then we have a group that's into the business world and doing business minded things. But nobody is interested in the fucking uniform commercial code and that UCC. I call it the Moorish movement shit. I don't want to do business. You can't do business with people like that because they're in it to evade taxes. So those are the people you don't want to deal with. You got to go outside of YouTube. If we're looking for a group of our people to come together and go for issues like that, like the farming industry, we got to go outside of YouTube. We're not going to find them in here. And then the age. You got to think about age. A lot of these our people are very immature at their ages. Some of them are really in their 50s, but they act like fucking 25 and 21-year-olds. So they're not even there. We have to go outside of YouTube. YouTube is just for entertainment. So ain't nobody serious. Hey, y'all, the link is pinned to the top. I mean, I would love to have some other suggestions. You know what I mean? But we got to keep it a buck. Who's the real from the unreal? If we had to wait for our people in YouTube that be on the panels every day to get together and let's do something, you're going to be in tears at night and your heart's going to be broken.
Right. Instead of cursing each other out all day, 24 hours.
Your heart's going to be broken. They're going to evade you and they're going to hide from you because they know they didn't mean what they really meant from their heart to work with you. Just like with my tribe members, they're not YouTube people. Predominantly, my tribe members are outside of YouTube. They peek in the chat, but they're not the type that hang in YouTube. Bottom line. Hey, Sachi. For real. You're getting frustrated, Ali Bamu. You speak a lot of facts. A lot of facts. You share a wealth of information. It hurts. It's painful. It's very painful when men in their 50s, 40s, 30s just, they smoke weed. They not ready to do something like the people from India that stick together, the people from Pakistan that stick together, the people that China that stick together, that have these businesses. I wish we could. It hurts me that our people are the only ones on the planet that won't come together and do civil things like foreigners that are just here do. They come here for a purpose, to make money, to take care of their families. So when exactly are we going to come together to make money, to take care of our families?
Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me? Because I think I'm going to probably get dropped when I'm trying to
Yeah, I can
respond
hear
to
you.
what you're saying. Because I again, this is no disrespect to what you said. I think it's a false argument. For one, first of all of these foreigners, which all come over here with a lot, they all have a sob story, a refugee story. Oh, I came with $2 in my pocket, sir, whatever. But they come organized to attack the American who first and foremost lets him or herself be called nigga 24 hours a day all over the world, because it's now a multi-billion-dollar global economy of denigrating and defaming us. In addition, we can't leave. Well, I shouldn't say we can't, because many of us travel, do cruises, got passport bros looking for exotic coochie, etc. You feel me? Indian radio. But at the end of the day, what is the driving force that makes you come together and sell tens of thousands of dollars of poison to your same children in your hood? Because of what? What is mentally conditioning people thinking they can self-medicate and escape? And these same ratchet ass niggas who are dropping out of school can count tens of thousands of dollars? Bro, that's bullshit. You follow what I'm saying, Engine Radio?
Yep, exactly.
But Alibaba.
So they have a what? Let me land here with this, because what I'm saying is all these arguments are fallacious, because we can't have a comparison made by these foreigners to us when we're at home, period. They left whatever condition they left because they couldn't get shit done, or, and here's the other argument, which is very interesting behind the scenes, this white crack-a-lack-a motherfucker is what caused the war, strife, the so-called strongmen, warlords, particularly in the so-called motherland, right, Engine Radio? Those excuses they use to run and flee here, but then they saddle up with the same white criminal over here that we're in constant combat with. So to me, these are fallacious arguments that are not comparative. We will always have a unique situation, including the small hats that want to claim that the Holocaust is the worst crime happened in the world.
Okay, so he fell off. He fell off. Hey, Chief Eagle Eye, the link is pinned to the
He's
top.
cooking though.
But he wasn't cooking enough, and I just have to disagree with him. I do.
Yeah,
Look at our if we're talking about our community, first of all of us don't live in the hood.
right.
Okay, let's just put that out there first. And he keeps and Alibaba, I know you're probably in the area where you can't get on, but I hope you're listening, and then you'll pop back on. But here's the thing: I can't stand on what he just stated. You got the green light, baby. Hit the link. It's pinned to the top, Superman. Come on up.
Yeah.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody can.
I feel where you're coming from though, but I understand what you're saying though.
I can't agree with him. Okay. Everybody that comes, and I can't even say this and lie. I can't lie. Every foreigner that comes here is not warring with our people. So I don't know. It depends on, I guess it depends on the area. Okay. Because I'm in Connecticut, and we have several hoods within our 169 towns. There's not a lot of people who came in from the border and are coming over here warring with our people in our hoods. I don't see that in the 169 towns. Now, what I do see is some, daily crimes where people that already live here and have been here are committing crimes against each other, and they're going to jail. Now, I see some people who illegally come in here from the Caribbean and do things. Okay. But it's not millions of them or thousands of them in our community. For the most part, it's our neighbors' kids selling drugs in the community and warring against each other. When they're selling drugs in our community, for what I know, they're not warring with people who have come in from the border. They're warring amongst themselves.
Right.
Okay. What you have is 4 sides of town of in our states. You either live on the north end, east end, west end, south end. Okay. The war is inter-community. There's no, new, and we get our local news reports. There's no local news reports that come out on the screen. Drug cartel from Mexico came over here warring with Pookie and Ray Ray. You don't hear that shit. What you do hear is Pookie and Ray Ray having shootouts with their own people that probably live on another side of a town or probably went over in their area and sold drugs. I'm not hearing this border shit here in Connecticut. Secondly, having shootouts, he's talking about our people selling drugs in the community. Yeah, but that's our people. That's not people coming in from the border. Now, we do have people who are immigrants that have come in. Okay. Some of them are Mexican. Some of them are all different races, and they're working the landscapes. They get them quickly. They come over here to work, not to attack. You mean to tell me because they got a job doing landscape, making our grasses look nice, okay, that they're attacking us? No, they're very nice. Hell, it was so hot last summer. It was like 90 something degrees. It was lividly hot. And they come here every Wednesday and mow our lawn in the complex I live in. And they don't understand English, but they have very little, English. And I've gone out to them and I don't even know them, but I know it's hot out there. And I don't give a damn what your race is. I went and bought them a bunch of cold waters because they ain't have no more waters. And they knew to say thank you. I don't see everybody that comes in from the border doing. I see them. They're coming over here to make money for their families. And what's wrong with that? I don't understand why our people in YouTube are angry and get mad at them. But how are you possibly looking for a job if you're on YouTube 24 fucking hours? Why are you mad at this guy who's doing lawns? And you're complaining about it, but your ass is not out there trying to get a lawn job. So, I mean, I can't. This is the part where I have to draw the line with our people. You're complaining about this person and getting a job, and they're foreigner. They come over and get a job, but you're not going out getting a job.
You're right.
I'm going to send them back. Let's say, okay, I'm going to send back 50 people. 500 people to Mexico, even though they were doing our lawns or what other trades, knocking down trees or tree trunks business, right? I'm gonna send them all back to Mexico, right? So now let me see if Pookie and Ray Ray are gonna come and fill those jobs.
Nope.
They ain't fucking gonna come and do it. So this is where I draw the line at with our people. You want them, you angry because they're in the jobs. But when the United States removed them from them jobs, you're not there to fill them. And that's some bullshit. Hi, absolutely. I'm just sorry. And I'm not being hater and things of that of my people, but I'm just keeping the truth. I'm not going to substantiate and stand on something that's false. I'm just not going to do it. About our people, we complain, and then and the person say, okay, here, you start the job. The first thing, nah, man, I don't want to work in your fucking company. It's rudeness. They don't want to work. And then within the first week, you're calling out sick. This is the shit I visually see. I have seen Connecticut give prisoners second chance initiatives. Okay? These niggas they give them nice jobs. And I sit there and witness this fool work 2 weeks and never come back to work. Because
he get that sack.
He got the check. So he done went out and re-upped on dope or whatever.
Yep.
He said, fuck that. I don't need that. I see that all the time. And with the women too. So what
Tell
do you
them
want
again
to do? I don't know what else to say, but maybe I'm wrong in this. And I see a lot. It's not that
you're totally correct.
1 or 2 people. And it's not that it's one or two people. I see it a lot. And then you get our people to say, you know what? That's the last time I'm gonna fucking help anybody. Don't ever use me as a referral. And if you come in here and get a job, don't tell them you know me.
Mm-hmm.
This is what our people end up saying that do work in the office. Say, I went out my way. You came in here and embarrassed me. The first thing they're gonna do is come to me and ask me where you was at, or do they haven't heard from you. So I'm looking embarrassed because I referred you. So I don't know, y'all got it. I just think
Sister Betsy.
I just think Ali Bamu made too many goddamn excuses, but y'all got it.
Go ahead, Chief Eagle Eye. Go ahead. Good day to you, Sister Bethy, Chief Morning Thunder.
Hey y'all got it. I'm listening.
Chief Morning Thunder. I agree with you 100%. Because everything that you just said, we just don't do it. It is just a fact. Okay. Scenario. All this land that was purchased by the Nation of Islam. You got all these FOI in every city. You know what the person that has the hold of the land says? He can't find no FOI that want to farm. So now we're held back because those that are portraying to be for the people are holding on the land, and the people that they got so-called to do for self are not helping each other do for self to even get us the food. That's what we're doing, because that scenario is in a lot of our families where we hold on the land and we keep other people in our family from using it to make it useful for the rest of the family. Or you want to hold on to it and sell it. I had people that came at me. I'm finna go out there and visit him so I can see how much land I got so I can sell my piece. That's how we think. We don't think using the necessity that the only necessity that of life that we have to sustain us, to keep it, because we're in some type of spell, some fantasy world where we think we don't need land. But I remember my grandfather and my grandmother lived on the land, ate off the land. Neither one of them had a job. And we all here. All of us are here. I got generations of people that came behind that. So it seems to me that we did very well. What's wrong with the people today? Everybody now in this spell, we all think we gotta have a job. We don't need no land. We just gotta go to work and pay a bill. That's just how we think, Sister Betty. We are super slaves. And it's all in the unconscious community. And I'm saying all of us are in the unconscious community because ain't nobody did what Sister Betty just said. Because you're not uniting with some little group and trying to feed yourself and start trying to get something sustainable for you, your family, and everybody coming together, then you caught up in the spell too. I hear all these little smart scholars on YouTube.
Now I gotta find a balance on what both of you guys are saying, along with Alabama. Now I gotta touch on the fleers. Now, like you said, these people are coming here to get a job. Why are they not working in their own land, on their own grass? Why do they have to come to America to get a job? So that would be my first question, as far as like keeping the conversation going on why are they coming here just for a job? Now,
Okay.
go ahead,
I don't
Sister
know.
Beth.
You want me to wait or until
Oh
you
no, go
finish?
ahead. Go ahead, please.
Why are they coming here for a job? Because our country opens the border and they can't get a job in their own countries.
They want to eat.
Everybody's economy is not like United States. United States have a successful economic rate, and that's how our country established itself. So all foreigners want to come here. They don't want to stay here. They don't. They want to come here to make money to send it back. And I don't see anything personally wrong with that.
Why can't anyone go anywhere in the whole world and be yourself and have something sustainable? Why?
Now, how many foreigners how many American Aboriginal people have you ever heard of going to another land and getting in government and helping run their government also?
That's the problem right
That's
there.
the
You're
choice
trying
right
to get
there.
into a
I
government.
personally don't want to go to another country.
Yeah.
Because we're not in a country where we're in a position where we have to do that. As far
Right.
as we're in a country where, let's just put it this way, we're in heaven. We have opportunity here. So, and we have plenty of opportunity here. So there's no need for us to leave heaven and go out to more hell.
It's truly not.
That we never had a need like other people. Our country is literally heaven because this is the land of opportunity. So whether you come over here for a temporary basis to make money for 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, it's okay. And that's it's a lot of money in another country. I remember back in the 80s where people would come here and work and they would send $100 to their country, and that $100 was like $1,000 in another country.
Mm-hmm.
They would come here, make money so that they can go and build a home in their country. And they can do that all within 6 months to a year just by working here. So we've always been a country where we allow people opportunity. But then it got ugly where people decided not to go back home. They want to stay a little longer and they're scared, because they just are not ready to go back. So in answer to your question, absolutely. Us being Americans, we don't have a need like the people that are coming here has the need. You
But
think
truly,
these people are coming
it's
here because they want
okay.
to get in our government? No, they're coming here for a job. We live in a country where we don't need to go to another country to get a job because the jobs are here. But I would answer that right. I don't know. You got it.
No, you definitely answered it right. There's no right or wrong answer to what you are saying. Actually, I don't think you're right or wrong in any of these conversations that we've been having on YouTube. I think it's just a great segue to us being greater, having these conversations now. This is one big part of what was missing 10, 20, 30 years ago when we started falling as a people even more. After the 1960s, we fell more after the 1960s. Then we were standing up straighter before the 1960s. Whether they show that or not, we were standing up straighter. It's just that after 1960s, a lot more of the foreigners were brought here. They didn't flee here. They actually went and got them on boats and brought them back. So my thing is, these people are in our offices now. They're running the legislative part of the United States now. So they didn't just come here for a job. They actually came here to run America.
Those are the rich ones, the ones that the tariffs are being brought upon, the ones that are coming over here that what probably Alabama was speaking about. Those ones that are exploiting us. Those are the ones that he's speaking about. Like, we're not talking about the ones that Sister Betty just said, cutting grass, building houses, because a lot of us don't want to cut grass and don't want to build no houses. So we're not even speaking on that. But in general, all of us have the right to life. So us Xing out anybody that wants to live anywhere, we don't even have that right to say. Okay? That's what we ought to think like. But we don't, because for some reason we think that we got to be governed. And I'm with Sister Betty. We don't need to be governed by nobody. We need to be governing ourselves. And that should be the bottom line. You should be able to live up under your own rules. And as long as you're not hurting nobody, everything should be cool. But we just got a gang of egotistical, greedy people out here that want to be chosen and want to say, I'm chosen. And that's where it starts going left. All left. Because we got somebody that wants to have superiority over somebody else. If we get rid of that and we start living naturally the way we used to live, we won't have none of these problems no more.
Let
Now,
me
I
ask you
think
this question.
We
Let me ask you a
gotta have
question.
resources for that.
Absolutely. I want to ask you a question. Absolutely. And in reference to what you said, do you mind or you need to ask another question?
no, please go ahead. I'm all ears.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you an example, and maybe I like to give a visual. So say like, for instance, this is Mitch O'Connell. He was the Speaker of the House. All right. What do you do in situations like his? He was born here in Sheffield, Alabama on February 20th, 1942. Okay. He's 83 years old now. Now, he's twice my age almost. He was born before me, and he's a senator. So, and he's also a United States citizen. What do you say to somebody like him? He was born here in the 40s. So he's in Congress. Am I to act funny because his parents probably came here in the late 1800s? This is a man he knows this land more than he knows the country of his family's origination. Let's just say he's Irish. He probably doesn't know, he knows United States more than he knows Ireland because he's a baby of this soil, being born here in 1942. So how am I supposed to act because he's a senator and his parents are immigrants from probably the 1800s? I don't think that's cool. What are your thoughts on that? I could be wrong. Correct me now.
Now, my thoughts on these foreigners becoming senators and sitting in the offices that we once held, I would say that had to do with, again, I think you were on Smoke Show when we brought up Woodrow Wilson. He kicked all of the brown-skinned people out of office until 1965 when they put the play up with Martin Luther King. And after 1960s, little by little, we started back running for office, but it never caught on like it was prior to 1924 in Virginia when they started changing up all the paperwork, also going along with Woodrow. So Woodrow kicked everybody out of office that was of a color. 1913, by 1924, Virginia passed the if you're not white, then your ass is colored. Excuse my French there. If you're not white, you're colored. So no in between. So at that point in time, once you became colored, you lost your not tribal, but your family affiliation, not even family, but your rulership to run the United States. So little by little, they kicked us out of the United States. That is the only reason why the foreigners are running the United States. And then I'll just trickle on up to USAID. Now, who was USAID funding with the $2.2 trillion a year that they collect in tax money?
Wait, say that again.
Who was now every year they collect $2.2 trillion, give or take. It could be a little bit lower, a little bit higher. And our tax dollars, I know that we are predominantly the taxpayers because we're predominantly the American here. So out of $2.2 trillion a year that they collect, USAID was sending most of that money to the foreigners so they could build up their own lands in their land. But they were also coming here also, and half of them wasn't even paying tax because most of them were coming here illegally.
Okay.
So not only did we send money to their country for them, then we gave the foreigners who are running the United States gave them the opportunity to come to America and also send money back to their people. So they're double dipping in our money. So I think that's why Alabama has his big situation or the chip on his shoulder.
Okay, well, let me. Oh, does somebody want to go next? Because I can wait and respond to absolutely.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Didn't you run for governor or tried to run for governor of Connecticut a few years ago? And how did that go?
I backed out because my husband passed away and I had to step out to take care of his services, and I was still mourning my husband. He passed away unexpectedly at work. So
Okay.
I did step out.
Then this
thank
other
the
guy.
natural earth for Big Willie.
Huh?
I said, thank the natural earth for Big Willie coming your way.
I'm sorry, Swindle. What did you say?
So I'm not your skin color, okay?
That's okay.
And you're just talking about Mitch McConnell, and he probably came here from the been here since like the 1800s or something like that.
Like his family, like I just like suggested
hypothetically, you're saying that.
Well, no. I think maybe you're misunderstanding me. Let me explain it to you in another way. I was asking, absolutely. I'm like, let's use Mitch McConnell for example. What do you say to someone who was born in 1942, right? And he served as a senator. Basically, what I'm saying there is, why shouldn't he have a right to be a senator? Is he still a foreigner? No, he's a baby of this soil. For 80 years, he's been here. So why can't he run for office? At one point, is a person not considered a foreigner? His parents probably came here, or his grandparents, because I don't know, maybe his mother and father was born here. So are they still foreigners? No, they're part of United States. So
yeah,
why can't he run for office? You know,
what is? I can't think of her name. But her last, the Senator Omar. I can't think of her first name. She became a United States citizen in the year 2000. Now she's a politician down in Washington D.C. Is that right?
Okay, she came here in 2000, so that we're talking 25 years ago. So has she been working in the United States? That's a long time. 25 years is a long time. And if you're a United States citizen, I think you have a right to run for office. See, there's people that have a problem with it, and there's people who don't. I think 25 years is a long time to work in a country, and you've made this your home, and now you want to be a part of making positive change in the economy. I don't have no smoke with that. I just don't. Some people do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, did I explain that to you right? Do you understand me where I'm coming from?
Yeah. So I'm sorry to hear about your husband. So why don't you try running for governor of Connecticut again?
I'm not interested. I lost interest. I'm getting older now, and I've moved on to different ideas. But what I am still involved with is campaigning. I do, because campaigning comes like every 4 years. So I do have energy to do that. It's not hard to campaign for people. I make phone calls, I canvass, I do that. But as far as running for a position like that, I have other plans for my retirement.
Okay. So I know I've been a little verbal with you in the past, but if I did a family tree here, and I can trace my family back to a tribe in Nova Scotia, Canada. My great grandfather married a tribe member out of this back in the mid 1600s. And does that make me a Native American?
Well, I mean, if he married a woman and had babies by her, that would give you some percentage of blood. What kind of Indian? Because you're talking Nova Scotia. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I
which
can't.
Indians out
I
there.
can't pronounce it. I have a hard time pronouncing it.
If you're a descendant, a direct descendant from that baby, that would make you a percentage based on the way tribes today make those determinations. See,
Yeah,
they
I've
don't
already
take
tried.
blood
It's like
tests.
I'm 132nd, so that's not
There are
enough.
people. There are people on the Dawes Roads that's 164th Indian blood.
Yeah. So this tribe, me being at 132nd, I'm not. I don't have enough blood in me.
Who said that?
The tribe itself, the tribal council,
Oh, okay. Yeah, every tribe
is
handles
different.
things differently. Yeah, like the Cherokees, they have people 164th blood,
Yeah,
and
but
they're considered Indians.
sorry, Sister Bethany. He's saying he's 132, so he's one
No,
out of 132.
132nd.
No,
One,
No, it's
yeah.
132nd.
132. That's lower than 164th. The way the Cherokees.
No, it's
Each
higher than
tribe-
164.
It's higher. It's higher.
Sorry, higher. Yeah, than 164. Each Swindle. Each tribe does things. Make their rules differently. They do. That's their sovereign right. They make the determinations. I think it starts at full blood, then it's 1/4. It goes all the way out to 1/64. I've seen 1/64ths.
Yeah, this tribe is like 50%.
And see, that's Nova Scotia. That's part of Canada, correct?
Yeah.
No, it's an island off the side of Canada. It's not a part of Canada. It's an island off the side. It's right above New York. So this is where they were
No, it's
coming
right above
from
Maine.
on the. Yeah,
Wait a minute. So it
is Canada.
Yeah, that's what it's Canada. A lot of Indians are
the
It's a
Mi'kmaq,
province of Canada.
yeah.
the Mi'kmaq, and all of those Aboriginals were there. These are the actual so-called Scottish that were already there. Some dark-skinned people with locks. They were going back and forth to Europe and about the 1600s. They started going over to Europe and getting indentured servants. And they were bringing them back to Nova Scotia, then to New York. Some of them went to the mainland as indentured servants. That's why Pennsylvania was also big in indentured servitude at first also.
Well, we took a lot of
So
people
you're just
from here and brought to Nova Scotia too, remember? They brought them, the British actually took people from here and brought them to Nova Scotia, but then it turned out to be a fight with the people that the British brought from here to Nova Scotia, and they ended up asking them to leave because they were fighting over jobs. So they British took them and dispersed them in other islands and other British islands.
The understanding that I have with the tribe I'm talking about, supposedly I've got to look more into it, but supposedly they're part of the First Nation.
Of the Iroquois Confederacy?
That I don't know. I've reached out to the reservation once and started talking with somebody there, and they said they're part of the First Nation, whatever that means in Canada.
It's the Mi'kmaq.
But what?
And they were a maritime group of people. It's called the Maritime. I'm not too sure if you guys ever heard of the term the Maritime. It was Nova Scotia. These people had boats up there before European colonization. So these people they were selling way before a white man came here. They actually were the ones selling to Europe or United Kingdom. They're really close to the United Kingdom on the North Passage of the Atlantic Ocean. It's called like the North Passage, or basically.
They have a lot
and
of
this tribe has been known before even Columbus got here.
Yeah, that's what he was just telling you. It's a lot of tribes up in the Canada area.
Yeah, there is.
A whole lot. You can't even pronounce their names.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I have a really hard time pronouncing it.
It's a lot of tribes up that way.
It looks like it's two words, but it's actually pronounced one word.
Yeah.
It starts with an M.
I don't even know all the tribes. I haven't studied Canada that deep, but Canada has of tribes.
Canada used to be called British, the British Empire by itself, without the European people attached to it. So again, we got to look more into who are these Nova Scotians who were also called Free Scots, and that's where you get the word Scotland from, or Nova Scotia.
But
So
what I'm hearing is the British were there originally, and where you see them now is newly made. They left from there and went to England or London, wherever they are now.
United Kingdom.
Right. They were originally where Canada is. And
Absolutely.
then they went to UK, and that's all new. That's from what I've been told in YouTube. Is that true? It sounds like it would be true.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true. United Kingdom didn't have votes.
Right. I think they were there the whole time, to be perfectly
Yeah, that's
honest.
where the Acadians came from up that way also.
I just don't have all the solid proof, but from what I've been learning in YouTube, because I never really studied Canada.
If you look up the word Kanata, Kanata, that is another tribe. That's where the word Canada came from, Kanata. And these people were speaking French before the land of French overseas even happened. Again, they were speaking in the form of French. Even the Mi'kmaq language, the French language is mostly built off the Mi'kmaq language itself.
We had Mi'kmaq down here in Connecticut.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They was running that area.
Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting. What part of Connecticut are you from, Swindle?
No, I live a little bit north of you. I'm in Vermont.
Oh, I've been up to Vermont. Vermont is beautiful. I've been up on Golden Pond. I stayed there for a week. That's in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I stayed there for 7 days. It's beautiful. I didn't even know that there was Indians called Massachusetts Indians. Just literally the word Massachusetts.
Yeah, I read about them also.
Yeah, they're part of that whole maritime group up there.
Massachusetts Indians. That was the name of the tribe, Massachusetts.
And if you keep saying those double S's, you get back to Mississippi, Massagua. All these double S's is like XI is just really saying XI in the middle of a word, just like the she people.
Interesting.
So that's why you see that same repetitive, redundant writing a lot.
But anyway, back to where we were with Mitch. I hope everybody understood where I was coming from. It's like at what point, because
Mitch was a senator, not in the House.
Senator. Well, yeah, he but I'm just saying my whole question is, at what point can he been detached from his ancestors' original land? So at what point, being here 88 years, at what point he's a United States citizen? Does he not have a right to run for a political position? This is what I'm trying to say. It's like, I don't know.
I would say no. Not under the guise of kicking the copper-colored people out of office after 1913. It was an intentional move made. So now you got one group of people, which are all.
He didn't have anything to do with that. That was
actually he did. We had to fight for rights back. So his family lineage had something to do with all of us being kicked out of office. So we couldn't run.
Mitch McConnell was there at the time of Woodrow Wilson and made a vote in agreement to kick people out of office, because it's saying here, upon taking office, Wilson fired all but 2 of the 17 black supervisor in the federal bureaucracy appointed by Taft. Okay, now when a new president comes in, they do have a right to remove people and put their own cabinet. That's the law. I don't believe
but not out of racial.
no, they do. I mean, when you come in office, when anybody comes in office, they have a right to appoint who they want. Like me, if I ran for Connecticut government, right, and I became governor, based on my experience as a working employee, I'm removing every commissioner in the state of Connecticut and appointing my own. Now, am I going to put all Republicans in there? No, I'm gonna put. I probably do half and half because all Democrats are not bad. All Republicans are not bad. They're good. You have good Democrats and you have bad Democrats. You have racist Democrats and you have loving Democrats. Same thing with Republicans. You have great Republicans and you have bad Republicans. Same thing with independents. My office, if I was governor, it would be a mixture of Democrats and Republicans and independents. I'm not doing like past governors where you just remove all the former parties and put in all Democrats. Hell no. That's why we are where we are now. I want a mixture of parties enforcing laws in my state because then you get better communication. Facts. That's the way. That's the type of government I would have.
Anybody else want to chime in before I state something?
Absolutely.
Bethy, quick question for you. How much do you pay for registration on your vehicle there in Connecticut?
Oh, the last registration I paid, I think it was about $100.
Okay.
Well, mine actually was like 130 because I have the this passenger on mine, public passenger. You know how you have the driving passengers in like a van.
Okay, I was talking with somebody that lived in Connecticut and they say they had to pay property taxes on their car.
We do get it from the town. Okay, I'm talking about registration from our town.
Okay, yeah.
It was the last one because I have a 2021, so I think it was like $360 for taxes.
Yeah. See, we pay up here. We pay just a one flat. When you buy the car, you pay the taxes on the car, and that's it. In my registration, I have a 2021 car also, and it's $75 a month for registration or a year. Excuse me.
See, that's what they were trying. They was trying to pass that law to get rid of the taxes. I think Malloy, when he was governor, he was trying to get rid of the car taxes, which is a property tax. But the locals got so comfortable with receiving that as in their budget that they now act like they can't budget without it. I don't think we should be. I think it's double tax. I don't think we should be charged car taxes. That sucks. No. We're paying too much. We're paying car taxes. Then we got to go turn around and pay for the registration. That's crazy. And if I'm not mistaken, we pay it twice a year.
Yeah,
it's July and January.
$75 once a year.
Now with our driver's license, I just got my driver's license renewed last year, so I don't have to get another renewal until 2030. They expanded it out that far. It's for 6 years now.
Ours is here. They do it 2 and 4.
Huh? Say that again.
They used to do it here. It's you have to do your license every 2 or 4 years.
Yeah, it used to be every year here. And
yeah, it's crazy. It's just the government wanting to get more money out of you.
Say hello to the Democrats because that's who's been in power in our state. It's a blue state.
Yep. Yeah, Vermont is just as bad. We have a sugar tax.
But
so
how is y'all
you buy What's that?
How is y'all's food prices?
Horrible.
Like, remember when a family pack of chicken used to cost $8? Now it's like
Yeah.
almost $30. Here,
Here's
it's almost
something. Here's something funny I'll share with you. I was just in northern Italy a couple of years ago. I went to a local restaurant, had a tomahawk steak. Around here, it's anywhere from $90 to $200. I paid about $20 for it over there, and it was really good. The food costs in Europe are half of what we pay here.
But isn't the cost of living much lower?
Where they get you, there's a lot of taxes, and gas prices are horrible.
Oh, their gas is high. So it's
Gas
cheap
is
in
about
one area, but it's higher in another area, kind of like here.
gas is about $8 a gallon.
Oh, hell no. No.
See, I knew that because
Damn.
I was stationed there back in the mid '80s, and gas prices were about $5 a gallon.
Oh, no. I use my ShopRite card faithfully because you get points, and
Yeah.
sometimes I get like 80 cents off. And if gas here is like $3.50, that helps a lot. I almost have a full tank with that.
What is the gas prices there now?
It's like $3.50 a
Really?
gallon. Yeah, and
Oh,
that's mid-grade because I always use mid-grade.
even the mid grade here is less than $3. Cheapest I saw gas today was $2.79.
I remember last year I almost passed out at the pump because gas was down to like $2.32 last year.
Okay, here
And I
we
was
go.
like,
Here we go.
what?
I'll throw
That's
some
crazy.
memories back at you, then I'll let this guy go. But you remember how much gas was before Obama took office?
Yes. It was
I
like
remember the last.
$1.79 or something like that.
Yeah. Then how much was it? Like a couple of days after? It was almost $4 a gallon.
Yeah, it was almost $5 here.
Yeah.
And this guy, everybody that had like these big guzzler, they were driving these big guzzler SUVs, and it was costing them almost $150 to fill their tanks up.
Yeah. And that's the
So,
Democratic Party for you.
yep, sure is. That's what we
So
suffer all this time. So
yeah.
I'm
Here's
kind of glad that
one more thing. Then I'll get off here. With the people like the slaves and stuff, the people who their ancestors were slaves and stuff like that, the Democrat Party wanted slavery, and the Republicans didn't. I just don't understand why descendants of where their ancestors were slaves. Why are they voting Democrat? That's what I just don't understand.
because a lot of our people don't understand, and they're starting to wake up now. A lot of our people didn't even know that the Democratic Party is the party that they don't realize that they're voting for the KKK. Let's just put it to you
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
They're now waking up, and they're now smacking their heads
Yep.
and saying, "Oh my goodness, I've been hurting myself all these years, thinking that everything that the Democrats told us about the Republicans, they scared us because everything they said about the Republicans, it was really them."
Yeah. You ever watch the Conservative Twins on YouTube?
No.
You should.
The Conservative Twins?
Yes, they're two black guys.
Conservative Twins. I have to
Yes.
write that down.
Okay. Then I'll let you go, and I'll just continue listening.
Okay.
Thank you.
But you're welcome. Go ahead. I'm just writing this down. Go ahead. Absolutely.
Yeah, now back to the 2.2 trillion that they collect each year off our tax dollars. Seeing how half of that money is, as we can see now, you said has been sending that money to every foreign country known to man, besides giving that money back to us. in some type of residual form. So that's my problem with the foreigners being able to come here, work a good job because they don't have good jobs in their home. They can't do the same thing that they're doing here, whether our money is worth more or not. Since we send them money anyway through government, why don't they just stay there and build up their own land if they have the means to get here? It takes a lot to get here for some of them. Why don't you
Well,
just take that same energy and put it towards your own land?
well, the problem is we're not over in their countries to see what's going on. Secondly, we like I said, this is heaven. This country has been known. Here come my superhero. Our country has been known for economic success, and they give people temporary opportunities to help themselves grow in their own countries. That's what we've been known for. That's what the United States is known for. Now, my response to your question as far as other countries having money sent, us sending money over to other countries, the reason why that we're not getting any justice, because we never had any proper representation at the federal level to fight for us. Now, that's not to say that we are not receiving funds to help us. The problem is the United States government is seeing Christian leaders as our representatives. So they're the ones getting the money. Absolutely. It's going to the churches. They're getting all the grants. They're getting all they're getting all the different types of grants for fundraising and all this stuff. The government sees them as our leaders unless we stand up and say, hey, they're not representing us. We want this. Like when you see in our hoods, right? When you see them remodeling and rebuilding, that's part of the church representing us to tell them to fix up the hood areas. We have to step up and let it be known that the church is not everybody don't go to these churches. So you have to step out as a separate entity to say, look, you're giving all our money to this church. We don't go to this church. Everything is given to the church. They're giving grants to have food pantries. You can have a food pantry too when you step out from the church and make it be known that they're not your leaders and they're not representing you. For all these years, the church has been the one to speak for us, whether we ask them to or not. But I don't know. You got it. What are your thoughts on that?
I'll answer. Super. I'm gonna go ahead and let you jump in.
Go
Balance
ahead.
Super also. Oh, I can
Nah,
go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna beat y'all slaves in a minute.
Oh,
All right. Hey, you wilding already. Okay, so back to that the scenario of what was your last statement, Chief Morning Thunder? I do
well,
apologize.
I was saying absolutely that we as a people, this is what I'm telling you, we as a people need to step up, and you have to become like, we have to become our own what do you call it? What do you
Government.
call people? No, not necessarily that. You can be an organization. What do you call those people?
501c3 steppers.
No. When you're who are those people that are in our legislator? They're standing out there and they're, oh, I forgot what you call them.
The lobbyists.
Lobbyists. We have to be our own lobbyists. We have to be an organization that represents our people. Because right now it's the churches doing it, and you're not getting the money. We're thinking that the government's not giving us money for our people, and it's being sent over to other countries all the time. But when you look at who's getting the money, then you wake up. It's all the churches. You know how many Christian churches we have? in our communities and all across these 50 states. They're getting the money. So they're saying we are giving you money because they think you're a Christian. You have to step away and build yourself into an organization where you get funds to represent yourself. They give it to all the churches. All the churches got the pantries and they have all the fundraisers and they're giving out all the coat drives, all this. They give it to the
Okay,
churches.
may I interject now? I got a quick answer for you. You just jogged my memory.
They give it to all the 501c3s too. That
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So basically, we would have to walk under a 501c3 as a nonprofit organization, and basically, you don't have to be labeled a church. But you're saying that is the business title to run this race under to gain a footing.
Well, you have to be have a great reputation, and you have to put yourself in a position where you have a great attachment to your community. Because they're not just going to give you grants. They're going to want to monitor how are you dispersing these funds to the community. What are you doing? All right. How are you generating revenue in your 501c3? Okay. Are you having coat drives? Are you having fundraisers? Okay. Yes, we'll give you a grant to help you do this, to help you do that. You have to be a real attachment to your community. The church is. Not saying you got to be a church, but look at all these other organizations like the American Red Cross. They're not a church, but what attachment do they have to the community? People donate blood to them so they can have blood drives to help save other people's lives. You have to be a real positive attachment to your community.
In order to get grants, not a loan. You're talking in terms of grants, correct?
Yeah, because those are things you don't have to pay back. The government see. So now what happens is when you begin to establish your family tribes or whatever you want to call it, that's going to take away from them churches. It's going to take away from them churches because they're saying the Absolute Lead family is running coat drives like crazy. The community loves them. They're going to start supporting you. But right now, the majority of the funds is going to organizations like that. We're the only ones that don't have a bunch, but y'all got it.
But you have to apply for grants, and as you say, you have to be an established 501c to have a grant. I had a nonprofit organization. It was Middletown Community Health Workers, and basically dealing with fathers and children. And so I wrote a grant out, and it's not a simple task to receive a grant. I just say that you have to keep applying and applying and applying, and you have to meet certain wickets with those grants. If you say you're going to be having so many father and sons luncheons, then you have to meet those wickets. It's a difficult task. But I wanted to go back.
It's really not curious. It depends on. I don't see it. I don't see it difficult because a lot of our people, when they do establish their 501c3s, they have coaches and everything right there at the government that work with you until you understand it. They have classes and everything. But a lot of our people, when they start the 501c3s, they don't take advantage of those opportunities. So it goes along the lines of being educated and understanding nonprofits. The best thing to do to understand nonprofits is to volunteer working with one. Then you get to understand. That's the best hands-on.
I do a lot of volunteer work. I understand what you're saying.
Hey, absolutely. What was the purpose of the Trojan horse?
To fake like they was giving somebody a gift, but really it was warriors on the inside of it. Right.
Well, go to war, slave.
Right. You feel what I'm saying?
But I wanted to comment back on what Alabama was saying, and this is not a punch at nobody, but the foreign people do come to America, and they get classified as Caucasian, Europe, white, whatever you want to call them. And as soon as that happens, they have credit lines that's open up to them. And this is why they have so many different gas stations, this and that. So I can understand what he's saying about they're getting ahead of us is because of that. And they have 5 years of where they don't pay. Some of them don't pay taxes for 5 years. And so after 5 years, what they do, they'll sell a business to a family member. The family member comes over and renames the business and do the same thing over and over.
Do
So
you agree with Alabama on
okay.
that?
I have to disagree, Curtis. You're talking about India. India is not a poor country, bro.
I understand that, but I'm just saying for what I know for face value. I'm not agreeing with Alabama. Alabama is his message is repetitive, and he stands on what he believes in. But at the end of the day, I can understand because I have my own business too, sis. And I'm out here with these different cats and I'm seeing how they moving and I'm listening to what they saying and how they do things with they pass it on to their family members. You see what I'm saying? I'm not speaking out of, I'm just saying this, pulling this out my butthole and sharing it with people. I move around with these people and I see what they get vice. If a young brother starts his own business, he basically got to put that thing up until it grows and start generating revenue. Whereas some individuals come to this country, got credit lines, and can be set up within a business within 6 to 7 months or a year. So I can understand on that perspective of what Alabama is referring to.
So let me ask you this, and I'm not being the royal bitch.
No.
You know I love you.
Oh, I know.
Do you have somebody show you literally, hey, I got a credit line? Somebody from a foreign country who's came over here and opened up a gas station. Because the last I checked,
my neighbor.
So they showed you that they have a credit line.
He told me specifically it's a BP that's outside this subdivision. And he told me specifically, I've been here. This is my second gas station. I started my first one. I sold it to my brother in Dayton, and I opened up this one.
Okay. So what does that tell you?
He made shit. He had a gas station. He was making profit, charging $50 for a bottle of wine. Shit.
Do you want a gas station?
Hell no, I don't want no gas station.
You're talking
so
gas.
why are you complaining?
Bro, I'm not complaining. All I'm saying to you is that I can understand. I can understand what Alabama is saying.
Niggas.
Yeah. No, don't say niggas, man. Just say brother. You see what I'm saying? We
beat these slaves into shit.
Curious is not a normal one, but the other ones, super. Yeah, you got them. But curious, about that gas station. Let me ask you this. Let me tell you this.
It's the only one It's the only one in this area.
Okay, but
he making money hand over fist. I won't go to it.
Okay, what country is he from?
Of course, he not Indian, Hindu.
Okay, so that being said, he's from India. United States been doing business with India for a long time. So off the rip, they're good credit worthy people.
I understand what you're saying, Chief. But I'm just making it simple in my own way. Is that foreigners are extended credit from the rip, where our people, melanated people, indigenous people, credit ain't right. That's all I'm saying.
Whose fault is that?
Bruh, I'm not even going there with nobody. I'm just making a statement. You can do what you need to do after I'm done. You feel what I'm saying?
I got a couple of questions.
No, well, you can ask Sister Bethy.
Do our people got good credit? Do our people got good credit? That's right. That's right.
They on the run, Sister Bethy. They on the run.
But only thing I'm just saying is some people are afforded as soon as they hit the soil starting business. Whereas whereas we've been here all our lives and we don't have a business. Like one brother was saying, I don't know who was saying it. We go to work for somebody. I did it. I did it.
How do these mothers get lights in their kids' name if we don't have credit when we're born?
Bruh, I ain't gonna even answer that. I'm not.
Okay. Let me just say some.
We gotta keep it real.
I'm not answering that.
Yeah, but let me just interject on that.
That's
note.
what they don't want to do, Sister Betty. They don't want to keep it
Super had to go there.
Okay, since 2001, India has received $2.8 billion from our tax dollars to help India out. So no, I'm just saying, Alabama has a lot of points. We're being beat out before we even get started. So it ain't about us getting. It ain't about us going ahead and not fighting the system and just gaining one up with the system. It's about us going in office and taking over the system.
Okay,
I mean, like,
absolutely. I would be interested to know. You just Googled that and got that information. Can you Google and see how much we get? I'm just curious to know. It could be $2, but could you Google and just put us in there and see how much is expended on us?
And when you say us, are you giving us a title, or are you just gonna say Americans, or or United States citizens?
I think you should say Americans, or I say Americans.
And don't say minorities. Don't say minorities, because it's a
Hold
whole
up,
bunch
you can't even Google that if we're trying to pinpoint a certain ethnic of people. You can't even Google that. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about India as a whole is one population of a certain people. America as a whole is not.
Okay, so you're saying when it comes, okay, we are citizens in the United States of America. Okay. You should be able to. Now, we're not the only ones that work and pay taxes. There's people across these 50 states that work, and I know you're going to say we're the taxpayers, but everybody that works in the United States, everybody that owns a business in the United States pay taxes, whether it's $1 or $2. They are paying taxes. So why don't you? I'd be interested to know if you could quickly see how much is invested in the United States.
Okay, let me do a search here.
No. So you're gonna
No, you're all good. I like that. I'm gonna say American. I'm gonna say how much money did you said send to Americans? But again, India gets $2.8 billion from us over the last 20 years. Okay, it says here in the fiscal year of 2023, you said managed over 40 billion in funding, which was allocated to various projects, including women's health, clean water, and anti-corruption work. So that's what they money went.
That's how much money was sent here, or
yeah, that's how much money was put on Americans. But did you hear what it was for?
Wait a minute, hold up. Now, how much was the amount you said was sent to India?
2.8 billion.
Okay, and how much was it sent to America?
Put toward Americans, 40 billion.
I'm done.
That was just in one fiscal year.
I'm at one fiscal year. Wow, that's a lot of money compared to what was sent to India. So now you want to see where it's allocated. Now, allocation comes from management. Somebody did a budget,
mismanaged
to see. All right. So the problem that United States citizens suffer is bad management. So who was in managing our funds, billions that was sent to us? Was that not the Democrats? Trump just got in office. You got it. I'm putting the whip down.
Oh, no, it wasn't just the Democrats. This has been going on for a while. They ain't just stole money over the last 4 years. They've been doing this for a while.
Let you get it. Because see, now 40 billion came here and you're complaining, still complaining. You got it,
Not complaining, trying to find out what was it
Don't put
allocated
the whip
towards.
down, Sister Betty. Get that.
Wait, but what was it allocated towards is the big leap of faith that we're trying to make out of it, not who's
Okay,
right or wrong, but what was it
okay,
allocated towards?
okay. What is it allocated towards? Because now you're gonna have to do what many Americans are doing today. You know how you see white people go out and fight because they be fighting. They be like, "Give us our money, give us our thing." You got to be an American, a United. You got to go out and do what United States citizens do. Call for an impeachment. You got to do what they do. We don't be out there with them. White people know where the money be allocated, and we don't know until we look and see, like you did. See, you're intelligent. You know exactly what to do to see how much money is given to the United States. So now where we lack, this is what we lack. We lack fighting this bad management as a people. But you got it. That's my little whip for today. Because you got people in the chat saying we need to remove ourselves from the system. See, that's a person I can't get with. I'm not interested in removing myself from the system. I like the opportunity of getting up, taking my ass to work, getting my check, and paying my survival bills. I don't have a problem with that. Other people do. So those are the people I can affiliate myself with. But absolutely, you got it.
And now you said it was just created in like the 1960s while we were so-called out there fighting for rights. So since you said it was created, it was, you know what you said is just for foreign aid. It's not even for us. That's what you say it was invented for. It was invented for helping the foreigners out. So the money that does go back to Americans, these are the now naturalized citizens that they're spending the money on. That's why I was more so concentrated on the actual allocation and who are the allocated ones who are receiving the funds. We're not receiving the USAID funds. We're not foreigners.
Right.
USAID is a
Absolutely.
foreign.
Let me ask you a question. Absolutely. If them niggas wouldn't have been on the picket line and they was up in Congress face and putting their candidates up in office, do you think that would have had a different effect?
Could you repeat that question again, Super?
Absolutely.
Instead of them niggas being on a picket line, they would have been in office making laws. Do you think that would have had a different effect on the outcome of niggas today?
But they was disenfranchised, my brother. They was disenfranchised since the 1900s. This is what the brother said. This is
Would
what
you
the
please
brother.
answer the question, please?
Okay, I'll answer your question. Yeah, that would have made a big difference. That's why Martin Luther King was fighting for the cause of making sure we stayed stupid. So that's the big thing, though. Super, you're absolutely correct. If you're trying to say that, hey, us out there running for office instead of holding a picket sign that say we know we're not colored or we want integration. Yeah, it would have been different if we had to put our suits and ties on and went back in office and took over our position. Absolutely, I agree.
Right.
Okay.
So what we
Well,
suffer
put
as a
down the
people,
picket sign and get in office,
there you
nigga.
go. Because what we've been suffering absolutely is bad representation.
Absolutely. I agree with everything you're saying. That's why I say you're not right or wrong, and Alabama is not right or wrong. It's just the balance is we gotta know what's the next
Man, that
step.
nigga was dead wrong. And you know
No,
it.
he's actually saying that we got kicked out of office, basically. So when you get kicked out, you just don't.
You can't
One
get
person ain't
kicked
gonna
out
make
your
a big
own
deal.
house if you
Well,
you can't
okay,
get
Trump
kicked
came in.
out your own house if you're willing to die to stay in
Okay, so Trump came in office. He kicked a whole bunch of people out, and he's still firing people now. And guess what? They're white people that he's firing.
But guess what? He's about to hire some new white people. So
Oh, that's his
the
choice. That's his choice. He is the president of the United States. He's the chief and commander.
He got a nigga over Section 8.
He got a right to put who in office he want. See, the problem is we don't run for those positions as a people. We don't run. Every time there's a presidency, there's no brown guy there. The last time it was that guy that's a brain surgeon, and then the other one, the 999,
Carlson.
the 999 clown tax guy, clown that I wouldn't even vote for.
I think Dick Gregory almost ran.
Almost ain't good enough, bruh.
He did run in the
Nah, yeah, he ran.
70s, early 70s.
Yeah,
And
he
what
did.
was
He
that
did. He
lady
did. My
name?
bad.
What
And,
was the lady name?
and so did Jesse Jackson.
And it was a lady before them.
Yeah, it was a sister. She ran like 73, 74. I saw the video of that. I can't tell you her name, but she did run. I could see her. She had on glasses and a wig. I know that for sure. Dark skin, a brown skinned woman.
All I'm saying is one of us running for office is not going to make a big difference, but it will give the others intel on what moves to make in your particular city if we were that tight knit. So I understand what you and Super are saying too. Get out there, go run for the office then. But at the same time, one man or one family ain't going to make the biggest move. It's going to have to be a conglomerate of aboriginals moving down the same path at the same time. Otherwise, we're holding up picket signs.
Correct. So
Why
we have
state the
to
obvious?
we have to go in our communities and get aboriginals who we feel that are qualified to run these positions. Like some of us have like favorite city council people who are very much qualified to run for these positions in office and get them to run. I mean, we got 50 states. So that means we could get 50 people to run for these positions. We have to talk to our people and put the confidence. Our people lack confidence and support. If they don't have our support, they're not going to run. They lack confidence. We let our own people down. We let ourselves down. So we have to go out and influence our people to run for these positions and stand behind them when they run for it. Even if they don't win, at least our people will, if they see the support that we're trying to push to our professional people, if they see us being supportive across these 50 states, supporting them to run for office, they're less reluctant to want to try and run again. But
Yeah, it's true.
it's us that hurt us. If they say, well, you know, Super ran for office. He didn't win, but he had a whole lot of people to support him. And guess what? Not only will our people support him, other people from other cultures will probably support him too. You'd never know. You don't know. There's other people in other cultures that want to give us a chance. And if they see, when they see the multitudes of us supporting our people, then they're more likely to say, you know, I really would like to give this guy a chance. But we don't love each other enough to support each other. We lack community support. And that's our fault. We hate each other so much. So much.
Well, it's not about love. It's about this information that has to be.
It is about love. You gotta love first. You gotta have respect for your people first. We gotta learn to respect each other. And we lack. Like this dude right here. So, Sister Bethy, you want the same old slave driver plantation, and you okay with that? Okay, let me
Yes,
tell you this.
I
Let me tell
do,
you this.
because I'm a slave
Let me tell
owner.
you this again, because me and you have different mindsets, King Dandara. So you wouldn't be somebody that I would recruit to say, hey, let's come together and do this. Because you and I have different views of opportunities in the system. Am I boule? Hell no. Do I struggle? Hell yeah. But guess what? I don't have a problem with the system because the system hasn't let me down. For when I took my ass, got a job, went to school, went to college, got a little bit of credentials so I could get a job to take care of my family. So I like that opportunity and I don't want it taken away from me. So I don't know what your problem is. Your problems are not my problems. You have a problem with the system. I don't. So I separate myself from people who don't see any hope in the system. That's the only way I can make it with people in my community. I have to work with the ones that understand the system as I do. Is the system great to me? No, I suffer racism, different treatment, bad treatment, but I lived through it. But how many of our people haven't gone through these things and been able to withstand the abuse? I just keep on moving.
That's all you can do is keep on moving.
So shout out to you, brother, and I hope you are able to find people in our community that have your views and you pull together and do something.
Sister Betty, these niggas want something for nothing.
Who is this?
That's a fact. That's
oh my God.
And he's right.
No, it's not about wanting something for nothing.
If you're not willing to work and understand the system that your people created and control it, you want something for nothing.
So that's where our community is divided at right now today. We have these people with these hopeless minds that we have to separate ourselves from and get together with people with much more positive minds. I can't baby no grown ass man. I'm not gonna do it. It's move on, okay? He's not your cup of tea, or she's not your cup of tea. Move on. There are plenty of people that would love to be in your world, and I'm into working and being civil.
I got a question. How do you niggas let foreigners come over here and outwork you?
Yeah, that is a good question though, Super.
What?
And I got a lot of answers to that. And everybody's gonna have their own opinion to how we didn't actually let foreigners come over. That was not, we went and got them and brought them over here as indentured servants. We never let them freely come over here without us being in charge. Now they're able to freely come over here. That's where the problem is, actually. Now, the ones that were here, that's on us. Now, when the other ones are just coming over here and actually eating off of our tax dollars and still able to send money overseas, they're not really, they're building up their spots and they're still coming here. So at the same time, we're not even going there, and we're not building up our own land at this moment. We've been overtaken. And once we admit that we've been overtaken, we'll be able to stand up. And I think that's what's going on right now with the Chief Horn and Thunder. With the supers, I think that's what's going on now. But we got to keep having these type of YouTube conversations. So this is the real picket sign time right now, because nobody would know about politics if Sister Bethy didn't get on here right now, or Bap didn't get up early in the morning, or Smoke didn't have an overnight like show, so somebody can just jump in and just hear something.
Therein lies the problem. Why don't you know about the government before you get to YouTube?
Because 9 out of 10 of us are running from the government. Never want to be seen by the government because it's been something like a spook. Let's be honest.
Run, nigga, run.
And see, that's not good. But what's happening now is great. These shows, these panels, more people are learning, so they're able to talk more. They're able to stand up a little bit more, even if it's by themselves. By listening to a crowd of you guys on the panel and chatting in the chat, a person gains a little confidence every time, whether you guys are arguing or not. This does make sense what we're doing now. So again, big ups to all the ones big stepping on these shows that are throwing the shows up there, putting up different information year after year, man. That's big step in power. That's why you're not wrong or right. But this is the balance where Alabama can have his opinions too.
Right.
Thank you for your testimony. Come on down to the altar.
Bruh, that is cold. That is cold, man. That is cold, man.
Well, we need to have these type of dialogues, like absolutely said, because it's healthy. And a lot of our people do get to learn from us. And what I was saying earlier, see, we have those in our community that have this mindset. Now, this brother, obviously, he probably was born in 1978, so he's my era. Okay. He's born in 78, and he's definitely a grown man, nearing 50 if he ain't already. And his attitude, good old slaves, laughing my ass off because I like to work. So this is what I mean when I say we have men my age. So he's not far from retirement, age. And they have this mindset. I have to separate myself from people with that mindset. Otherwise, I'd be in tears trying to, you know, instill hope in our people. A lot of our people are hopeless. But when you get our people that follow behind or trail behind someone with his mindset, I mean, that's the fight. That's the divide in our community today. At least that's certainly the divide in YouTube. So I try to put myself with people with, open minds, like Curious and Super and Smoke and
Sister Betty, ask them what would they be doing besides working? What are they gonna do if they're not working?
That's what I want to know. That's the good question.
I tell you,
I've heard some guy told me, "Oh, live off the land, live freely. You don't need heat. You don't need hot water and lights. You could live right off the land." I said, "That's how homeless people live," and he said, "That's the best way to live." No, it's not. Not to me. I'm very accustomed being in the privacy of my home. And that's how a lot of our people want to live. Come to find out, a lot of these niggas is homeless. And I don't want to live like that.
Homeless people beg for a living. Niggas that live off the land got calluses in their hand. It ain't easy living off the land. You got to work the land to make it produce.
And that's the one thing and the hardest thing to get our people to understand. A lot of them don't want to work. Bottom line, you can't want to work if you're on YouTube all day and all night.
Now let's YouTube your job. So you're working. This is IT at that point. You've learned how to do web page and put together great presentations that people will subscribe to. Now you got monthly subscription income. So now that's not bad. That's actually good.
Well, no, I'm talking about like 20 panel members up there with you. What are they doing?
Yeah.
Who have been on lives. They done cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I don't know, the camera's always off. I don't know if they took baths. I don't know.
Only, that's funny.
I ain't took a bath in a couple of days, Sister Betty. I've been working.
And I don't feel like taking no bath tonight. I'm not taking one.
Woo.
So Super, what's other than a worker? You like being a worker, or do you want to be an owner? But you are an owner, but you still like to be a worker.
Owners have to do the most work.
That's it, brother.
Owners do more work than the employees.
Hold up, so that ain't the real owner then. Somebody got to be sitting back collecting the fact check off their ideas. Who's the real worker then?
That is a fallacy that don't exist.
I beg to differ.
Name one.
Shit.
Name one CEO that don't do nothing. Name one business owner that doesn't do any work. Name one, please.
Probably Steve Jobs. He just do conferences.
Yeah, he dead, man. A dead man can't do nothing. Come on, you gotta do better than that.
I'm just saying he was one of them. I know he's dead. I said probably Steve Jobs. I'm just trying to go off the top of the dome. They just traveled around doing his seminars toward the end of his career. He wasn't working at the end of his career.
But shit, he was charging people $30,000, $25,000 to sit in them seminars. See, that's how they maintain their wealth. They make this money, they get around, start having these seminars traveling around, and then they charge people 25, 15, 25, 30,000 to come to their seminars, man. I wish I could get to it.
It's something bigger than the boss. That's all I'm saying. And that's the people who run the United States. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you on that one, my brother. I agree with you on that.
And who are these people that run the United States that nobody knows about?
Shit, if you got an answer, tell me, nigga.
Nigga, ain't nobody running it. You ain't running it. That's why it's running the way it's running.
And now I agree with that totally. That was a great kickback, and you know what? I'm gonna stand free on that because I agree with that statement. Like I said, Super, you got a lot of wisdom on the top of that shoulder. That shoulder, you carry a lot of wisdom on it. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, when you speak, man, it's being heard whether you know it or not.
The truth hurts. That's why they run from it.
And you keep saying on the run, man. See, you got to run to be in government. You got to run for this. Black people tired of running. We need to just stand still and make our statement claim.
Yeah.
Well, then lay they tired ass down, and we're gonna throw dirt on them. If you tired, lay down. We're gonna throw dirt on you.
So again, man, we got to be better than workers. We got to be better than the boss. We got to be the one running the boss. And this information, this Aboriginal information, actually puts you in that mode. So that's why I got to say, man, keep kicking up dust, man.
I agree with you on that.
What? Everybody want to be the chief. Who gonna be the Indians?
Man, somebody got to be over the chiefs. So who's over again? The chief is the boss in that situation. Who's
That's
over?
what I'm saying, man. Y'all don't even understand the system that you created. The people are over the chief. The people are over the chief. Donald Trump works for the people. The people are his boss. The people put him in office.
So
that's why when he did those executive orders, he said, "I'll go to the people," because he knew who he know who to go to. Oh, you got it, Curious.
No, I was just going to say. So that's what you're saying is so what you're saying is, Super, is that we need to all write to the president and say this is what we want done. Is that what you're saying?
No.
In Congress. Oh, you got it.
No, don't write nothing.
Oh, okay.
Make sure the person that's in there is the person that you put there, and he already knows what to do.
Right. Okay.
Because you put him there to do it.
I understand, my brother. I got you.
Man, I love y'all. I've been on now for 3.5 hours, and I want to get off and relax and eat some dinner. I ain't eat.
Me too. That's what I'm doing now.
But if you hold on,
what
I'm
you cook over there,
you.
Sister Betty?
Oh, I'm just eating soup and a sandwich tonight. I had went out and got some buffalo chicken sliced breast. So I'm gonna put that on a little roll and eat probably some chicken.
I got you beat, Chief. I got some northern beans with smoked turkey parts in it and some cornbread, skillet and homemade cornbread. I'm getting ready to sit down.
I'm gonna do that this weekend. I had made some black eyed peas the other day and tore them up. But this weekend I'm gonna cook some good old beans. But tonight it's just soup and a sandwich.
Get you some red meat. Y'all need some red meat. It'll make you mad and want to fight.
No. Man,
Superman crazy.
Let me get on this.
I'm about to get out of here. I love y'all.
All right,
I'm
bro.
gonna redirect y'all over the Crazy Smoke channel. So if y'all hold on, y'all gonna be in Smoke channel.
Hey, be the greatest, Chief.
All right.
Y'all always welcome to my channel. Love y'all.
Absolutely. Love you back.
See you, Sister Betty.
See you, sweetie.